Welcome to Coliseum Madness. I apologize, there's no jock jams playing like there should be for any madness bracket, but YouTube would have a fit. But we are here for the second term of Coliseum Madness. This time, a topic voted on by you. Over 2,000 people voted for this. Best debut album. That is awesome.
Damn.
Great topic. We have a full bracket of 32 albums, debuts. They all are legit. I feel like we got a competent amount of 32 albums. No one super chatted or pledged trash. What a miracle.
Thankfully.
Before we get to what else Rock Coliseum will be, and super chats are open for the second hour always. You already see people filing in with everything. We'll do quick introductions. John, why don't you go first?
Hey, what's going on, everyone? I'm John from ARTV and Beyond ARTV, you know, the second unscripted channel. Talk about music on YouTube and stuff. And yeah, gearing up for a special video, a couple of comeback videos. I've been out of the loop a little bit, but we're working our way back in.
Very nice. Mark, why don't you go ahead?
Hey there, folks. Mark O Spectrum Pulse. I talk about music, movies, art, and culture. Main channel's predominantly album reviews and the occasional video essay. I got one that's also in the tuck, probably for end of March is what I'm targeting. I might require some assistance from some colleagues here. We'll take that offline later. I brought this up to you guys a year ago. You've been well prepared.
Yes.
And the other side channel is Billboard Breakdown, where I discuss the inanities and insanities of the charts. And my God, it's getting rough over there.
No kidding.
Gross, but unfortunate. You do a hard job. Thank you for that. And Crash, how about you?
Hello, everyone. I'm Crash Thompson, and I'm not anybody special. I'm just his dad.
Welcome to fifth member of the Rock Coliseum. This is
Everyone say hello to this little guy.
Hello,
His name is Little Guy.
Hello, guy.
Yeah.
I would like to reiterate to the audience, every time you push the like button on this video, you're giving one pet to Little Guy.
See, he likes that.
We're going to get such a boost of likes there.
Say hit that like button or you'll make me shit.
Wow, do you want Little Guy sad, everyone? You monsters? Hit the like button.
Yeah.
Oh
Now Crash dropped the link for his Amazon wish list.
Oh, I'm hitting the like button off of this. Like, geez.
Crash, you don't need a 4 HD Ultra HK TV. What the heck?
It's where we can watch Animal Planet.
Little puppy demands quality. He does.
He does. He's earned quality. That's fair.
He has.
He's already begging to sleep, so I'm going to put him in his crib.
Go ahead. He made his appearance. If he wakes up later, we'll deal with it.
Wave goodbye, little guy. Wave goodbye.
As more super chats come in, as more people are filing in, the number keeps growing. Sharing a link for something like this does help a ton, as does hitting the like button, especially during a live stream. Please do that. Engage, leave comments, chat, everything. So, what is Rock Coliseum Madness? Well, we took 32 suggestions and made a big old bracket out of them, and we're going to have that randomized live in front of you, so that way no one knows. So let's switch to that now, so that way you can visibly see what we're going with. I'm going to zoom all the way out and go, bam. Ah, there we go. Oh, this is going to be a disaster. 32 entries. I zoomed out a little too far, but the reason is these are all debut albums in rock, metal, alternative, indie, punk, industrial, everything under that massive umbrella, suggested by Super Chats. This is not the order we will be doing them in, though. There's a button on the end of my screen that hits random. Once I hit that random button, that's what we'll be going with. That way, there's no bias, no unfair matchups, circumstances, all that. If you don't like the matchups after the random button, that's your problem, because we probably won't like them either.
No, we won't.
It's in the hands of chaos, folks.
It is. And this is the only way.
Masters of chaos.
Yes. So,
trust me on this. If we had seeded this, it would have been so much worse.
Yeah, it would have.
We would have sat here the whole night just trying to.
It would have taken an hour just for us to get to on the same consensus for most of them. So for seeding. Yeah, I'm being generous. I'm being generous. So, I would also like to point out the second hour after we get done with this bracket will be for the super chats for the regular standard Rock Coliseum. Please get your entries in. Give us the thumbs up or thumbs down on what your suggestions would be. They could be album, a band, a song, band versus band, album versus album, song versus song, whatever you want. Just make it clear. We already have quite a few. Keep them coming in the comments. It helps out a ton. I'm popping out chat right now, so that way I don't have to keep tabbing over. I already see quite a few like that are good. I want to thank you all for the people that are actually putting good super chat suggestions in. Some of these are new and they work. You guys have learned and listened. The bar is so low.
We've been doing this since 2018.
I know.
We're raising the bar.
I know. I don't know. After 2020, when we had to do one, we were doing everyone every other month because we were everyone was insane.
Bored.
Bored, insane, and the audience loved it. I think we all lost the script a little bit, and that's fine though because 2020 didn't matter.
Everyone was
We don't
crazy
count
in
it.
2020.
It's true.
That doesn't.
So,
count.
Luke, question here.
Yes.
When it comes to ties,
Mhm.
like for the brackets,
If we
where
have
does that
time, I will give the poll to the audience.
Look,
Luke's like, please, God, no. No, God, no.
I know it's gonna happen a lot. So it'll be like 1 minute polls. So everyone in the chat, you better be on the ball for these. Also, for the first round, the seeding of 32, we're gonna try to go a little bit quicker because there's so many.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
have I explained everything adequately? I know people will get this as it goes on,
Yeah.
but
One
It's
thing I do
Bracket
want to
battle.
One thing I do want to say, like,
yeah.
one thing I want to say, I know some of you are going to be agitated that Zack and the Zakktones did not make the bracket with their debut album, but let's be honest, we're dealing with classics here, and I'm sorry, I don't think it would be fair to them to put them in that category.
I was outvoted. I did vote for them. Just to be clear, I was outvoted 3-1. For the
It took
Zakktones.
Zack and the Zakktones like 5 albums and 3 lineup changes before they even really got there. So.
Yeah.
I would
Just don't
also
appreciate their country prog masterpiece.
I would also like to say that the album The Zackening is a terrible debut album title. So
See, I like the Zackening.
It's
a
not-
good album, but it's okay,
no.
a terrible title.
The
There were
Zackening,
production issues. The mastering was not there. I couldn't hear the bass.
I couldn't hear
Zach.
anything. I couldn't hear anything.
I couldn't hear Zach at all on that record.
I think we're ready. Just like 2 years ago, like last time. By the way, one more final thing before I hit the button. My lovely wife, Gretchen, is in the chat as a mod. I promise you she will take no guff. If you start acting a fool, she will kick you out. And
Get 'em.
Good.
yeah,
Get 'em.
so we all love Gretchen. Everyone say Gretchen is the best in the chat. That's how I'll know we'll be ready to go. I'm just looking at that random button. Just like 2 years ago, I wasn't too stressed out or anything until I'm ready to hit the button. And that's when I know there's no going back.
Yep.
Yeah.
Moment
It could
of
throw
truth.
us an absolute curveball, or it could be kind. We'll see. Curveball.
Hit by the pitch. Hit by the pitch. Okay.
By the pitch. Yeah.
Okay. I see Gretchen is the best. Chat's caught up. We ready?
There we go.
Yes, let's do it.
Okay.
Ready.
3, 2, 1. Click. Boom.
Click, click, boom, you mean?
Yeah, pretty much. Start tournament. Zoom in. I don't like this already with the very first one.
Uh-oh.
Say, we can't see it yet.
Give it a second. They have to wait a second to see the first few rounds. I already
We're
don't like
watching
what
with
I'm
you
seeing
guys.
first, guys. I already
Oh,
don't
I
like the
see it
first
now.
bracket.
I see
Oh.
it now.
Okay. Oh, that's mean.
That's mean, isn't it? So mean.
Number 2, the second bracket I don't like.
Oh, that's tough too.
Oh, I'm sorry, buddy.
I'm sorry.
It's going to be a rough night. Oh, no.
It is.
Okay.
All right,
Make some
ready?
friends.
All right. For best debut album, we start with Garbage self-titled versus Boygenius The Record. Everyone has thoughts. Okay.
I got him.
Okay.
You.
Garbage self-titled. 1, 2, 3. Okay. A fair, respectable one. Any thoughts while I'm typing in the thing? Any thoughts while I type in the entry?
I'll have the one exception to the rule. I guess my issue is I don't think Garbage's debut matches up with where they would go from the next couple of albums.
Fair.
Fair argument.
And I have issues with the record by Boygenius. I think all their solo stuff is better. Maybe exception Julian Baker, but I'm not a huge fan of hers. I've I've said this before. I'm more of a Lucy Dacus fan than all of this, but like because she has taste and class. But at the same time, like I think the best moments on the record kind of like have a little bit of a leap and bound over Garbage, at least for me.
Okay, fair enough. Anyone want to say anything else?
It's just so hard to put something that's been out for 30 years up against something that's a year old. You know?
John, I'm going to comfort you here. I feel like even the Boygenius members would agree with us on this.
Yeah,
I don't think
Oh, you know they were listening to Shirley Manson in the 90s. Come on now.
Yeah, seriously.
Also,
I think we're gonna slide by on this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, there's innovation on both sides, but the innovation from Garbage in mid-90s stands out a little more for me. That's it. That's not a negative mention towards Boygenius. Okay, that was one bracket.
Easy enough.
Buckle up, people.
All right, buddy.
Linkin Park Hybrid Theory versus Slipknot self-titled. The comment section alone is going to crap all over this video.
Oh, man.
I want to see the chat explode for this one. Let's go.
All right.
New metal agenda is in full force, folks.
Linkin Park Hybrid Theory. 1, 2, 3. No.
Oh,
Is it tied?
We got a
I
tie.
had
It's a tie.
I had a feeling this
And
might.
Slipknot self-titled. 1, 2, 3.
I'm kind of surprised, Mark.
I am too. I'm very surprised by
I
mine.
have reasons. I'll get to this.
I'm making a
Let's hear it.
poll. You three talk while I'm making a poll, if you would.
All right,
Well-
go ahead, Mark. Let's hear it.
My hot take is I don't really care for either of these albums that much. Like Hybrid Theory to me, it has never worked to the same degree. I think in both cases, the sophomore album is better.
Yes.
Meteora and Iowa are both better albums.
I agree.
I agree with that too. Yeah.
My thing with I went back to Slipknot's debut. I may have been too harsh on it in some of my initial assessments. I think that in both cases, the writing's not worth much. Production's not worth much either. I think there's a little more to Slipknot that's held the stick for me. I'll say that.
And I'll just usher in really quick. I do feel while creatively they were both very original of their time frame of what so many other bands were trying to do, they excelled with. I do feel Slipknot really stood head and shoulders above their contemporaries as well. Not everything aged wonderfully on both.
Yeah.
I think the highest moments for me across the board stand up for Slipknot a little more than Hybrid Theory. Then again, I'm a diehard Meteora fan, so I think Linkin Park's peak perfection is Hybrid Theory. Or Meteora, not Linkin Park. So for the Hybrid Theory defense, go ahead, while people are voting.
I'll just chime in and say, for me, this is also very close because they're both very impressive records. They're both very different records too.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the Slipknot debut is like just that much in the again, the production isn't flawless on either of these, but the Slipknot one is just a little bit rougher around the edges.
Okay.
Whereas I feel like the Linkin Park production is a little too clean, but that makes it more listenable. It makes it a little bit more palatable to me, and the melodies are there. Y'all know I'm a slut for melody, and that Linkin Park album just has
Whose melody? Okay, sorry.
Some Tish.
John, go ahead.
Dang.
It wasn't that funny, guys.
You had to get me
Jeez.
laughing at all.
Yeah, wasn't that
right?
funny?
John, holy shit.
I'm laughing about melody now. No. Both of these records I think are pretty great. I think we could have a discussion about really 90% of music that came out like 20, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, whatever. We could have a conversation about it sounding dated. So I'm not even going to get into into the weeds of that. I just think that Hybrid Theory is, like Crash said, the more listenable of the records. I don't seek out the Slipknot self-titled as often, but that's not to say that there's not a lot of really strong moments on there. Both of these bands were breaking new ground at the turn of the century. So
Agreed.
Good arguments.
Hybrid Theory, just for me, edges it out.
Yeah. Very fair, respectable arguments. Any of the poll? Oh, it's not even close.
Hybrid Theory.
Hybrid Theory, 72%.
Ooh,
Yeah, not
oh,
surprised.
damn.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I'll take it.
The
When you have
Slipknot
an album that sells
fans.
so many millions of copies.
It's
I'm
true.
not surprised.
It's true.
Yeah.
And
They
it's
both did.
Slipknot.
They both did.
Slipknot is a touch more extreme than Linkin Park. It just a little.
No.
Yeah.
Just a little.
A little. A little.
That should work. Linkin Park. Okay. An unfair matchup, but oddly enough, close in the same time frame. Only a couple years distance. System of a Down self-titled versus Sunny Day Real Estate's Diary.
Oh, this is gonna break my heart.
Hardest one yet. Yep.
It is the hardest one because this is apples and oranges.
It is.
Definitely apples and oranges, but
Yeah, and let's
I got
heavy
both.
apples and
I
heavy
got
oranges.
thoughts. Yeah.
I think I have an answer.
I do too.
My answer could change tomorrow, but
yeah, same.
Mine's not. I'm pretty. I'm maybe the only one with a firm answer on this.
okay.
Oh.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
System of a Down self-titled. 1, 2, 3. Really? Okay. Fair enough.
Interesting.
I don't
Okay.
mind taking the loss on this one. Sunny Day Real Estate. Diary. 1, 2, 3.
John and Mark. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Oh, I love Diary too. That was one of my pleasant
Sunny-
re-listens in the last week when we were doing this. But
Yeah.
Get in,
I
losers. We're listening to Diary on repeat.
One thing I want to bring up: there is a emo throwback music festival happening in Vegas in October this year.
Yeah.
Sunny Day Real Estate
Yep.
is on the ballot. That lineup is friggin' insane. I've never been to Vegas before, and I might go for that festival.
quick thoughts. Just really brief. Boy, when System of a Down came out with self-titled, I don't think that's their best album. But you want to talk about something different in the middle of a time where everyone was trying to be different? They did it without even trying, and there was nothing else to really compare that much. However, Sunny Day Real Estate were way ahead of their time.
It's
Oh, yeah.
Diary, dude.
Yeah.
It's Diary. Like,
So.
no disrespect to System of Down, but man, there's some stuff on that self-titled that has not aged well, and some of Surge's vocal deliveries are a choice.
Interesting.
I mean,
yeah,
still-
it can be very chaotic. That's for sure.
Again, very interesting. Very
And by
bold
design,
record.
too, yeah.
Yeah, of course.
exactly.
Of course.
I got no hatred towards the System of a Down self-titled, but Diary
Not at all.
is freaking.
It is.
That's all I'll
We
say.
got
That's
two
all I'll
members that went on to play in the Foo
Foo
Fighters.
Fighters,
Nate
yeah.
say.
Mitchell,
Yeah.
William Goldsmith, and Diary is one of the essential emo records for me. Just an
It is.
album that I was late to the game, but my manager at work in like the early 2010s, maybe 2010, introduced me to that album. It was a game changer.
Yeah.
So, fun fact, can I give you something that may sway the vote?
Mhm.
Little guy, he's been crate training lately, trying to handle that separation anxiety. I've been using a lot of music to kind of help him. I found out Sunny Day Real Estate may be one of his favorite bands.
That's adorable.
I used the records they suggested to kind of help with that. To kind of put them on, see what he likes. He loves Sunny Day Real Estate.
It wasn't Sugar off of System of a Down self-titled?
Well, yeah, you couldn't. Yeah, can you imagine? Oh. Just wait till we
The
get
nightmare.
to Korn. I got
I
more
know,
thoughts
right?
about that.
Fair enough. We all do. We all do.
Oh, you do.
Okay. Fair enough. I'm liking the matchup so far. They're tough, but that's the random part. Again,
Yeah,
keep
the next one.
I know. Keep the super chats coming for the second hour. We'll get through as many as we can, as always. Interpol, Turn on the Bright Light versus Pearl Jam's 10.
Turn on
Not
the bright
fair.
lights.
There's a cap on
Yeah,
the
that's
limit of characters. You're going to see a few of that, by the way. Because there's something like My Chemical Romance is on here. I can't fit the title of their debut on there. There's no way.
Yeah.
So
Well, why not?
the system will shut down if I try.
How will I know which one to vote
Break
for?
the
if I can't see the full
CSS.
title?
Interpol, Turn on the Bright Light. 1, 2, 3.
Figured.
I get it.
Okay.
I at least understand it, yeah. Pearl
It's
Jam's
not
10. 1, 2, 3.
I mean,
Already
I-
close.
The grunge masterpiece in a time where the grunge masterpieces were coming out every 2 months.
Yeah.
third record I ever bought. So
That's pretty cool.
yeah, yep. Mm-hmm.
I'm not always the biggest fan of grunge at all times, but I love 10. I will
Yeah.
do 10 at karaoke.
Oh, yeah.
Oh hell yeah. Oh.
You do even Flood that rocks the house.
Yeah. And also, I really love Pearl Jam, and especially 10. But for karaoke, you can just mumble some of the lyrics and no one will know. Wow, that guy's good at this. Anything for Interpol before we move on, John?
I mean, it's one of the defining records of the 21st century, one of the best post-punk revival albums of all time.
That I agree
don't
with.
think- I don't think I hate to see it getting
They got hosed on the first round.
For me, it's not close. I think Pearl Jam are a little bit overrated, which might not go over super well. But I mean,
No, I agree with you.
10's great. Turn on the bright lights is better.
Okay. Fair enough.
Tough
My,
one.
my one comment here is that
Sure.
I just didn't get into Interpol until like Antics came around. So like,
I didn't get
Okay.
into them until El Pintor.
ooh. Oh,
Okay.
that's right. That's right. You've told me.
Honestly, John, same.
Yeah,
I got Pearl Jam earlier, so
Yeah.
Hey,
I got
I'll
you.
figure.
We now scroll down, and this is where it's all blind reaction for me, and I'll read them off so that way you can be caught up before the show's on screen. Oh! Van Halen 1 versus Alice in Chains Facelift.
Oh,
That's bad. Oh.
you classic rock fans, have fun.
Have fun. Oh,
get
my
ready
God.
to hate somebody.
Comments
here.
on
Oh,
that.
yeah.
We are
Yeah.
going to die.
Your comment section is going to have so much engagement.
Should we just put
All
this
right.
on Reddit now and be done with it so everyone can flame
Yeah,
this video at this point?
Start
I
karma
mean,
farming it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I got this.
Okay. Yeah, I have it. Yeah, I have a definitive answer. Van Halen 1. 1, 2, 3.
I mean, I feel bad, because it's like Facelift.
This is a fair tie, I think.
This is
I think so too.
Alice in Chains Facelift. 1, 2, 3. I'm glad this one comes down to a vote. That way it's off of us. Awesome.
Yeah, it's not on us. I have a feeling I know which way
Yeah.
the vote's gonna go, but
Yeah.
I do too.
All right.
Go ahead and say whatever you guys want while I'm typing this out.
all right. I'll take the lead on this one. So Van Halen 1, and it had been a while since I had heard the full record. I think it's a fantastic album. I'm not the biggest Van Halen fan by any means, but I do like stuff from most of their eras. But Facelift is just, I don't know. It's crushing. It's grimy. It's sludgy. It's heavy, but in a different, really visceral way. And yeah, of course, Dirt and, subsequent albums like the self-titled are going to get more attention, but Facelift is kind of the thing that started it all. And if you have not spun that record in a while, do it.
I can agree with that.
I also want to say Van Halen 1 is a fantastic album with some of the most brilliant creative guitar work you can hear from obviously Mr. Eddie Van Halen. But with Alice in Chains, that is the epitome for something like Facelift with raw anger and emotion and misery. The harmonizing between Lane and Jerry was so good. It wins over for me. It's close. That's all I'll say.
It was just like, it was something new. You really
Yeah.
didn't hear that level of harmony and rotating vocals in a heavier metal adjacent band like that.
Yeah.
And
Crash
what
and
was
Mark.
that, 1990? Sorry.
Yeah.
Crash, you want to go first or you want me to?
Mark, be my guest.
Okay. See, I actually really appreciate you guys mentioning that this was something that level of harmony was actually kind of unique for grunge at the time. But if you go back to 1978, the harmonies within Van Halen were unique at the time in that brand of blues rock and that brand of heavy metal progenitors to hair metal. Unabashedly, I went back to Van Halen 1. I was shocked how much, not only did I remember it, how much I love that album. I'm a hair metal fan as it is, but that project goes so hard. And the other thing, and this is the qualifier that it's going to come up a number of times in this video, Dirt is so much better.
See,
That argument I get.
you took the
That's
words
fine.
Right out of my mouth
Yeah.
there. Yeah. Because again, a lot of this, because like Mark said, a lot of the things you guys were saying about the qualifiers, about it being this new flavor of heavy and the harmonies and melodies on display.
It's very true.
It's, Van Halen this is that version of that, only more than a decade earlier. So
Which is
again,
kind of
blazing,
cool. Like,
Slightly
there's more
different
to it
genre.
than I expected there
Yeah.
would be.
Yeah, exactly. But at the same time, I also just love, again, maybe this is just my partial sort of thing here. Van Halen 1 is one of the funnest records ever made.
It's
That
very,
album
very,
is
very
Yes,
fun.
yes.
riot. It is a
Yeah.
riot. It is joyous. It is impossible to listen to that album
And have
the biggest goofiest
Yeah.
smile.
You
on
can't
it.
have a bad time when that's playing out of the car system. You can't.
True that.
And while I like Facelift, it's also the much darker record. And again,
Sure.
putting the two up against each other, I respect the hell out of Facelift, but man, you put it up against Van Halen 1. Not many things, period, beat Van Halen 1 in my opinion.
This
Other thing I want to highlight is that Facelift kind of drags in the back half a little.
It does. Like, another thing, Alice in Chains, they also have that sludgier sort of
They can
side.
get away with it, yeah. So, but
Sometimes it works, but sometimes it's terrible.
But I
they
like
get
the
away with
sludge,
it
so
first, they don't
I
get away with
was
it.
about to say it really works for me.
the
so.
sludge is part of the identity. All right, the poll has. Ooh, that's close.
So close.
Van Halen won 53%, 5-3.
Dang.
Real close.
That was a tight one.
Tight. That was a tight one. Ooh.
And that was 116 votes. So a lot of people voted.
Yeah.
Man.
We have a sample size. Someone get a pollster in here.
Also, if you hit the like button, Crash's new puppy, little guy, gets petted. Please hit the like button if you haven't. It helps the stream out a lot. So
Yeah.
I think we just had 100.
awesome.
Let's go to 200.
Let's do
And
it.
to be fair, little guy also liked Van Halen 1 better than Facelift, so that's his vote, too.
That's true. He is
but
the fifth
he-
member now.
He hasn't been in the world all that long, though.
Has he had enough time? Has he had enough time to be sad with Alice in Chains? Come on
Yeah,
now.
I don't know. Has he
Yeah.
even?
He can't relate. The saddest he's ever been is, well, that one time I left him in his crate for a little while.
Oh,
He's the dog in the box.
the brutal
he
classic,
is.
the
Literally.
brutal
He's
classic
literally the
rock
man-
matchup, guys.
He's
Oh,
literally the man in
puppy,
the box right
Don't
Man.
shove his nose in.
dog
shit.
in the box. Okay,
Classic here.
the classic rock matchup: Ozzy Osbourne, Blizzard of Ozz versus AC/DC High Voltage.
now. Ooh, okay.
Oh boy.
This is where the
Yeah.
boomers are going to get really mad at us
boomers.
now.
I need to think
Oh,
about
we
this
thought
one.
the same thing. Huh? Like crap, the boomers going to be all mad, all caps, no punctuation in the comments.
That's
Ugh.
what they do even when they're happy.
Well,
Okay.
no.
Yeah,
All right,
I have an answer. Yeah,
I got
Yeah.
an answer for this.
I got you.
Yeah.
yeah. Ozzy Osbourne, Blizzard of Ozz. 1, 2, 3. Fair enough.
Mark. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, dude.
AC/DC High Voltage. 1, 2, 3. Remember all the comments about having a good time? You can't have a bad time with Van Halen. That's how I feel about High Voltage, and I love Blizzard of
Yeah.
Ozz. So
Yeah.
go ahead and say whatever you want. I'm making the poll.
Yeah,
John,
I'm
you want to
interested.
go first?
Yeah.
John, yeah.
I've never really been the biggest Ozzy fan, period. Just whether it be Black Sabbath or Ozzy Osbourne. Solo stuff, of course, we got Randy Rhoads, on the first 2 albums. I appreciate a lot of it. I don't know. I know I was bagging on the whole idea of something feeling dated, but to me, it does feel a little bit
does,
tedious
totally.
in certain parts.
Yes.
High Voltage. Not that I'm stoked about the album. Like
No,
just
it's a
like Luke
sleaze
said,
bucket album. Let's call it
it's-
like it
it's-
is.
It's fun.
By design, it's sleazy. But I do think, like all the contributions Ozzy's done, I don't know if I would put Blizzard of Ozz over what High Voltage meant to AC/DC. Does that make
True.
sense? So that's me. That's just a me thing. So Mark, you go for it. I know you got a lot. So
Okay, so there's a couple things that need to be specified here. First, the version of High Voltage matters because there's the
remake
Australian
and the
version of
US.
that
Yeah,
album
yeah.
versus the American.
Big
And
deal.
either way, I come down on the side of Blizzard of Ozz.
okay.
Because my thing with AC/DC is that they're more of a singles band. All their albums sound the same, and I gravitate to the singles that I like the most. And I gotta be honest, the singles on High Voltage are not the ones that grip me the most. Also, is Ice Cream Man on High Voltage?
Ice Cream Man is a
No, that's later, I think.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Van Halen, wrong. Oh, sorry, wrong band.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
wrong.
I was gonna say
Okay.
that's
Sure.
okay.
There's back half songs on that AC/DC album I didn't really care for. Blizzard of Ozz is a messy album. It will be probably knocked out of my personal contention pretty quickly because I know a lot of the history around that album because I'm a big Randy Rhoads fan in terms of his guitar work, in terms of what he did with Quiet Riot.
Sure.
I get what he brought in, and he brought to some of, let's be honest, some of Ozzy's best ever singles.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a big part. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the thing. I give the singles a little bit more of an edge. At the same time, Ozzy and Sharon were a dick around this album. The production process.
This
is
album.
horrible.
This
album,
one.
yeah.
Just this one.
Yeah.
I get it. I get it.
But at the same time, I go back and yes, this album is dated as all hell. It totally is. I can admit that. But I'm also a total sucker for that dated sound. It is a me thing.
Fair.
Totally fair. And I don't have much else to add to this necessarily, but again, AC/DC, man, if Dirty Deeds Done Cheap had been their debut,
The debut, I agree.
Been a much different conversation.
Yeah.
But TNT, High Voltage.
Yeah.
High Voltage, it has its bright moments. It has its sort of, Bon Scott is singing his guts out on that record. I can definitely
sounds so good.
that. Yeah. Oh yeah, he sounds so good. But at the same time, it's raw. It's the roughest kind of version of AC/DC, and and again, that back half really drags. The deep cuts on that record are just nothing you need to care about.
I don't know when it gets to a long way to the top for the back half of High Voltage. I can't help but get suckered into it. That's just me. Again, that's one song, but
and I'm happy for you.
Thank you.
Man, the deeper cuts on Blizzard of Ozz are just
they're wild. They're wild, yeah.
It has, and I'm also a little partial because again, Randy Rhoads is one of my favorite 80s guitarists. It's just the shredding style, just man, the shit he did. I'm not even much of a Quiet Riot fan, but even I can respect his work on their stuff.
Well,
I know, Mark. I know.
So much of his playing was very much it was flashy, but it was flashy not in an obtrusive way, in the same way that Eddie Van Halen's could be, or a lot of those hair metal players were, which is one reason I loved Randy Rhoads so much. He's his stylism was there, but he would never take center stage when he didn't need to.
Yeah, he was an addition to the rest of the band or the rest of the song. He wasn't it wasn't show offy. It just added so much to the songs that were already.
He backed up Ozzy, so
yeah. And this
also,
record,
rest in peace, died way too young.
Yeah,
way too young.
I want to just throw one more thing out there. This has probably my favorite Ozzy song ever, "Goodbye to Romance." So
good song.
That's a good one.
Great fucking song. Just
see. I also want to say really quick. Someone in the chat said "Ice Cream Man" by Zack and the Zakktones. I thought it was funny. I thought it was a chuckle. Okay, the poll is not even close. Blizzard of Ozz 72%.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah.
See, I had a feeling.
I can't be mad about that. I'm fine.
Most high voltage, yeah. It's not
I'm
the
not
best.
mad at that, but I'm just surprised.
By the differential, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I get it.
Ozzy Osbourne. Okay. All right. Well, we're going back to Ozzy again. Black Sabbath versus Black Country New Roads debut.
Oh, we are going to piss off all the indie heads now.
The boomers versus the indies. Battle it out in the comment section. Let us know who's wrong.
We're all wrong. We're all wrong in this.
I just like how the randomizer had the two ones that started with black. Pop them together.
That's suspect.
Whatever.
That's a little soft.
It is. Okay. I agree, but whatever. Black Sabbath. 1, 2, 3. Okay. No, I get it. This is not just apples and oranges. This is a whole other food group altogether. But Black Country
good tonight.
Yeah. Black Country New Road. 1, 2, 3.
Really?
The slimmest of fucking marks.
This is an unfair matchup. But anyone want to talk? Go for it. I'm going to make the weirdest poll I've ever made. Okay.
No kidding.
Well, we all know who's going to win. Most of the people don't even know who the other one is.
Okay, I'm going to go defend Black Country New Road for a second. One of the most impressive experimental rock acts of the 2020s. For the first time is great. Answer 'em Up There is an excellent follow-up. I think both those albums are some of the best of their respective years. Mm-hmm. I know that Black Sabbath's self-titled album is a classic. I get it. At the same time, having re-listened to that album, first off, Paranoid is better.
True.
I can understand. I can't argue that, but
straight up, yeah.
My second point is that as much as I love that Black Sabbath album, I do find it meander. I feel it's very much a progenitor of what will be coming. It's very much the prototype that lays it down. Yeah. The one thing I can give Black Country of New Road is that for the first time is a very self-contained project. I feel like there is a thematic arc that goes throughout it. I feel like there is an intensity and interconnectedness of the ideas within it. And I think the instrumental passages can go toe-to-toe with Black Sabbath. Let's be real. In terms of the technicality, I think it's there. In terms of the production value, I absolutely think it's there.
Yep. And the live presence from when Isaac was still in the band too. I don't know what the dichotomy's like these days.
Yeah.
But
That's a sad thing because Black Country New Road, their lead singer Isaac, he's no longer in the band. It sucks. I get why he had to leave though. So
yeah, it's just the band is incredibly, or should I say, Isaac as a lyricist is incredibly raw, and that could be a little too much at times, especially if you're not in the right mindset. But like I said, just floating it out there, not the biggest like Ozzy fan out there or Black Sabbath. So
my thing for Black Sabbath, 12 hours. That's how long it took to record that album. And then they all got drunk.
See, yeah.
So when you talk about production level,
a little bit.
They had to work
I was about
on
to say,
it a
am I
lot.
supposed to be impressed by that? Should I be impressed by that?
No, you should. I'm not saying you should be impressed by it. I'm saying I think it's impressive. This is if for argument, the birth of true heavy metal, like at a certain point, at least for a mainstream audience to come out of something and be that big out of England at a time right after the Beatles were on top of the world. This was 1970. So
I know that, but my argument here is that Deep Purple beat them by like a year and a half.
Sure,
Yeah.
but again,
But here's the thing: people weren't shocked by Deep Purple.
No, they weren't. And Deep
kinda
Purple was
were, but
great.
They weren't like offended. They weren't.
Black
thrown-
Sabbath
they
had
weren't thrown
church
off by that.
had church masses all around the world, declaring them evil. Meanwhile, Ozzy and Gerard were just goofing off in a studio with a rainbow flag over while they were playing, and also some of the playing from Gerard and Tommy. Holy crap! It still holds up, and it puts 90% of bands to shame today.
It does. Like again, I have no qualms with Black Country New Road losing. I want there to be a poll.
Yeah, I'm glad there's a poll too. Like again, it's not on us. I'm fine, and I like Black Country New Road. I'm not super well versed with them, but at the same time, yeah, I like them.
I'll throw my 2 cents on.
Sure,
this.
yeah.
Black Country New Road. I like that. I like For the First Time. It's a very interesting debut. Man, does that record go in some interesting and bizarre places. I get it. But it's an album of a lot of different directions. It pulls you in a lot of different emotional spaces. It basically pulls your brain to ribbons in a way, which I get.
Good way to say it.
I'm saying that's the appeal. But at the same time, that record, man, it's dense. It takes a lot to soak in. Black Sabbath, it's just... It is so raw and it's so real, and those first tritone notes of that title track, just that
and like the thing, like some people like the meandering thing is a fair argument. What Crash is getting at too, the groove and setting into that atmosphere is a big part of the experience.
It locks you in immediately and sets you on the ride, on that dark, sinister, spooky ride, which again, it's aged. Sure, it's aged for 1970. But for 1970, that was probably the scariest fucking shit you could have possibly put on your record.
I went back to it. I think that album has aged better than Blizzard of Ozz.
Oh, yeah. I'll agree with you.
Well, they're very different too. So yeah, I can see that. I'm just
different production styles. That's for sure.
Exactly.
So the poll, 80%, I'm guessing.
You're not far off.
Nope.
76% Black Sabbath.
We did our best, Mark.
Yeah.
We did our best.
Hey, it was a valiant effort. It really was.
I have no qualms against that. Both albums are classics. Like
they are.
Yeah,
they are.
Up next,
a little early for Black Country New Road.
Oasis, Definitely Maybe versus Brand New, Your Favorite Weapon.
Ooh, okay.
Okay.
We'll put aside all the discourse about Brand New. Let's just focus on the debuts. Chat, behave yourself. Gretchen, you're the best. I love you. If anyone in chat gets out of line, ban them. No questions asked. Okay. There, that's settled. Everyone got it. Everyone have an answer.
Yep.
Okay. Oasis, Definitely Maybe. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, who
fair enough. No.
Yeah.
Brand New, Your Favorite Weapon. 1, 2, 3. Fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone have anyone to say while I program this one?
Can I just throw this out there, John? With all due respect, Your Favorite Weapon is just not the best. Again, if this had been Deja and Tendu or The God and the Devil Are Raging Inside Me,
that was the one I jumped on with.
That would have been tougher. But like, I'm just not that fond of their debut. It's a decent little piece. It's a decent little slice of like early 2000s emo, but I don't have much more of an opinion on it outside of like that. And the drama between, them and Taking Back Sunday. But nobody remembers that but us old heads.
Yeah. Back when drama was more innocent. Well,
right.
Slightly innocent.
Debatable there.
Slightly innocent. Regardless, this is one of the 2 Oasis albums that's fantastic, that's worth going and checking out, re-listening to over and over again. People have to remember, Oasis was not what Oasis is now. So, but definitely maybe great debut, and I kind of agree with Crash. I jumped on the brand new wagon much later. I didn't jump on with Your Favorite Weapon. I think that's why mine's a little bit tinted. But yeah, when I think of Oasis, I think that mid-90s, I think definitely maybe how much they did. And I'm aware that Meth helped make that album, but...
Now, granted, if it had been their second album, Oasis's, I would have chosen that.
What's the story?
For the record.
What's the story?
Yeah, What's the Story is better.
It is.
That's the tricky thing. Like, at some point, if we ever do this sort of like matchup again, I'd love to do sophomore albums, because I get
that is a great topic for next time, now that I think about it, because there's so much material, and also those bands that beat the sophomore slump usually have the best ones. Oh man, there's a lot of cover for that.
Oh, absolutely. Kind of thing with that brand new album. Like, I'm with Crash on this. I think they did better later on.
Much better.
Oh yeah, definitely. I definitely give you guys that 1,000%. It's just, it was one of the defining records of my middle/high school experience. So
fair enough.
And that's fair too.
Definitely maybe until later.
Yeah, I didn't either, because I think it was just a touch before our time to hear it live. Like when it debuted.
94?
94, 95. Yeah. So fair one though. At least I get it. Same ballpark. I looked ahead. This next one is beyond brutal. Apples and oranges, and feelings will be hurt.
Ooh, I think I see.
You see the first one, Madam S and the Banshees with The Scream.
Okay.
Versus Block Party's Silent Alarm.
Not even close. Not even close.
Not even close, but man, there is a certain type of indie head who is going to tear our heads off.
Someone is throwing their suitcase record player across the room right now.
The Crosley Cruisers.
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
The biggest douchebag with the worst mustache you've ever seen is furious right now.
He's like stamping around his one studio apartment, bothering the neighbors. Okay, sorry. Yeah. Siouxsie and the Banshees, The Scream. 1, 2, 3. I am so sorry. This is the first shutout, and that's an awful one to have a shutout. But Block Party, Silent Alarm. 1, 2, 3. Guess what, everybody? I didn't hear this album until a couple days, yesterday.
Can I just say, it's not the best Siouxsie and the Banshees record.
It's not close.
I understand. It has a place in post-punk history. It really does.
It was important more than it is.
No, it was more like it was iconic in a figure piece instead of the best material.
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of the historical position we placed Bowie's debut album.
Yes.
There you go. Yeah.
It helped to usher in something, but it wasn't necessarily that artist's defining material.
And I'll even give it a little more credit than that. I appreciate the gloomy kind of atmosphere. I appreciate how kind of atonal that album is. Again, post-punk was barely even a thing.
Yeah, it didn't have a definition at the time either.
No,
it was important. But how often do I go back to that to actually enjoy it?
Yeah.
To listen to it as a piece of, I will put on the Scream and bop to it.
The Scream is a blueprint, I think, for what would come later. Silent Alarm is this fantastic album that has made me realize why people like Block Party so much, and I never figured it out until not too long ago.
Yeah, behind the scenes, Luke hadn't heard Silent Alarm
until yesterday.
I think we knew
yesterday.
That's a failure on us for not exposing.
And I had heard other Block Party albums years ago, and I always wondered, why is this band so big? I don't get it. It was 2010 or 2012 when I first heard an album from them, And now I get why everyone's so upset when the new Bloc Party album comes out, because people are upset because it won't be as good as Silent Alarm.
You missed out, dude.
Yeah.
What can I tell you?
One thing I will
Those were the
say,
days.
I unabashedly do love Siouxsie and the Banshees cover of Helter Skelter.
I do too. I think
And
it's
that was a fun one, yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Great cover.
Very interesting.
There's 100 covers of them, and like that's one of the few that actually works.
It's
It's one of
completely
few
flips
that
the
does
DNA of the
something
song.
different.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It makes it a whole new track, basically.
Yeah, you wouldn't. You
They
wouldn't
do their
even
job.
recognize it at first if you just showed it to someone for the first time and didn't tell them
It was the
that it was a
Beatles.
cover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I did want Siouxsie to scream at the end, I got blisters on my fingers.
Yeah. Missed opportunity.
to Siouxsie. Yeah. Up next, I don't know what the next one is. Okay. Remo Drive Greatest Hits versus, oh, that's brutal.
Oh,
Rage
God.
Against the Machine, self-titled.
Oh,
Well,
poor Remo. Haven't Remo Drive been through enough?
Oh,
as
God,
someone,
they just-
as someone who enjoyed that debut Remo Drive album, guess how this is gonna go? Remo Drive Greatest Hits. 1, 2, 3.
I'm tempted to, but no.
Don't upset little guy. You want to set a good example for him. Yeah. Rage Against the Machine, self-titled. 1, 2, 3.
It's not close.
It's
It's
a
not
different
fair.
No.
game at that point. Still iconic. Still holds up today.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like,
You know what?
To be
Again,
fair, that
that's the
Remo
chaos
Drive
of the-
album is good. That Remo,
Yeah.
I'm not a,
Yes,
I'm not
oh,
a
yes.
Remo Drive fan at all, but I'm like, that album is good.
Yeah. Hey, I think we can all agree that that album is good, but it is not self-titled Rage Against
No.
the Machine.
No, there's
Which I will
Man.
say is not my favorite Rage album.
same.
It's
No,
like
same.
it's for
Me
me
either.
too. It's close for me, but it's also the same for me. But it's so far up there in the echelon of rock history. As soon as it came out, with the attitude and what Tom was doing with the guitars, Zach really going for the jugular. Remo Drive's fun, and I like the album too. But again, Rough
Emo
Break.
album.
This was a glorified buy. I don't know how else to say it.
Just the
Kind
just
of.
the chaos of the
Won't be the
randomizer.
only one we'll see.
Yeah.
A good suggestion though too for a debut album for like an out list like this. Remo Drive was a
Yeah.
good suggestion. So
Remo
I agree.
Drive.
I
It's a great
agree.
kid.
A little
Yeah.
unfair to them, but okay.
Yeah, no, I agree it
If it had
is,
gone
but-
up against really,
if it went up against
Maybe
Black
anything.
Country New Road or something like
Yeah.
that, maybe a little bit more fair.
Put them against Siouxsie, that's an argument.
Yeah.
There you go. I like that.
Up next, Arctic Monkeys, whatever people say about me, versus Idol's Brutalism.
Oh,
Damn.
I'm gonna make some people mad.
I
bet you
I
are.
actually
I
do
think
kind of
I'm
like this
gonna-
matchup. I kind of like this matchup.
I do too.
I do too, but I'm very scared based on how y'all have voted in the past. So
So am I. This is man. I please tie. Please tie because
yeah,
I want.
I'm
this
down
to
for a tie. Let's do a tie.
Yeah.
We had 2 sweeps in a row, and before that was a significant vote, so we haven't had a poll in a bit.
Yeah.
Arctic Monkeys, whatever people say. 1, 2, 3.
really?
Oh.
You?
Oh,
I'm all-
damn.
Only one on Arctic Monkeys' team.
I like
I
Arctic
almost-
Monkeys, but it's not
you?
brutalism. What kind of matchup? Come on, man. I would have voted for if it was another matchup.
The Idol,
You know,
let's be
John, I'll
honest,
give-
the Idol's album, it's good, but it's not like
Brutalism.
John, I'll throw you a bone here. For me, this is pretty close.
Brutalism.
I
1,
was-
2,
I was-
3.
Yeah, brutalism. Yeah, because man, I was listening to that Arctic Monkeys record. Arctic
It's a
Monkeys
blast.
debut.
It's
That
so
gets
good.
slept on.
It's
That
so
gets slept
good.
on.
Yeah.
So much fun. It's a fun. It's fun and it's so fucking cheeky. It is just so fucking tongue in cheeky.
There's swagger to it. Yeah.
They are just little assholes in the they're assholes in the most positive way. It's that kind of British snide kind of early 2000s-ish rock that just didn't get very popular but should have because it's awesome. Stuff like the Levelers and like fucking Supergrass. Like I
Oh, yeah.
love
That's
that
the one I
sort of-
think of, yeah.
that sort of early 2000s wave of just asshole British indie rock, and that got that goes kind of bred by Oasis now that I think about it, but was actually more punk rock than they ever were. I love that, and that's kind of what Arctic Monkeys are kind of bouncing off of, and I love it. Man, Brutalism just goes so hard.
It does.
so hard. hard, so heavy, so relentless.
There's a grit to Brutalism. There's like an in-your-face style of grit, and I love how much of a fun, listen, whatever people say is, Brutalism just gets in my blood. And that's a weird way to describe it. Just the groove and how fierce it is. I don't know. Mark?
I have 1049 Gotho at karaoke, which is one of the most unsettling
that would
songs
scare
to
people
sing at
out, wouldn't
karaoke.
it? Yeah.
God, you have to get me drunk as hell to do that, but I'd still.
I have done it, I want to say 3 times, and I adore that song. Actually, fun fact, my copy of my original pressing of Brutalism is the most expensive record in my catalog.
I'll bet.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it goes for like $500 plus on Discogs right now.
No repress?
No repress.
I'm surprised they wouldn't have by now. Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
That initial pressing did not get a lot. I believe the issue there was there just wasn't a lot of copies pressed, and wasn't there?
There wasn't a lot of demand. Like
yeah, well, demand
didn't really break until Joy.
When
so,
Joy, the floodgates opened with Joy. So
no, I got on Brutalism early because, and I'll thank Fantano for this because I'm like I was kind of getting into hardcore punk at the time, and I'm like, this Idols album looks interesting. I'm gonna give this a shot. I'm like, oh no, this is everything I need in my life. Like this is great. Yeah. And I'll be very honest, John. I'm sorry, I can't stand that Arctic Monkeys album at all.
Really?
I like it. It's fun. It's a fun album. Oh, we lost John. All right, little guy, you're up. You're part number 4 now.
You're coming into battle, homie.
No, it's I understand. My opinions on Arctic Monkeys are weird and gross, but
I heard weird and gross. I came back and heard weird and gross.
They're talking about me, John. No, it's okay, John. They're talking about me. You're fine.
I agree. My opinions on this are weird and gross. I think Favorite Worst Nightmare is a better album.
Oh yeah, no question.
But it's again, that's my thing. There's certain sophomore albums that you have the benefit of a sophomore album that is so much better in my view in comparison with Joy that I only think is slightly better than Brutalism.
Okay. We move on. Guns N' Roses, Appetite for Destruction versus Boston's self-titled album.
Not close.
Not even close.
Brutal, but that's... You know what?
Sorry.
I'll save my piece after. Appetite for Destruction. 1, 2, 3.
I mean...
Yeah. It's a brutal matchup. I don't think Boston would have stood much of a chance in other matchups anyway, but when you go up
close for me. It's
okay,
close.
fair. But this is Appetite for Destruction. This is Guns N' Roses' best in my opinion.
Yes, it is.
And
unfortunately, that's Boston's best as well.
Yeah.
I've not heard all of Boston, so I'll have to give you that, but I did self-title.
I mean, I haven't either, but I'm going to take a hard
assumption. I'll give a little credit to Boston. I'll give a little credit to Boston.
Sure.
It's an interesting record. It's
fun.
It's fun. It's a fun record. It's got that dopey kind of. It's almost kind of sleazy in its own right.
Yeah.
It's kind of stupid, dumb fun.
I love the
friggin' baseball game organs that are going on throughout.
Yeah, it was almost like Yes level at some of those points. Yes.
It's fun, but it's not Appetite for Destruction.
Crash. It's like if Styx had a little bit of dignity.
Yeah, and the thing is, the lack of dignity is what makes Styx interesting.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So,
Boston died out much earlier than Styx did as well. So
yeah. I just wish there had been more baseball organs on Appetite for Destruction.
Right.
Crash. Axl would have tried. He would have tried something crazy. But also Boston, I'll say this, it's an appropriately dated album. As in, it's that timestamp for that time. Guns N' Roses is also, 70s. But as well, for that late 87, that Appetite for Destruction defines people's lives and the funk and grease of the late 80s. Yeah.
I'd almost argue Appetite for Destruction is kind of timeless in its own way.
Yes. Yes.
There's always going to be sleaze. There's always going to be those cities that are Welcome to the Jungle adjacent. So that record is always going to stick out in some way.
I hear more of the datedness than you guys too, to be fair. I can put on Appetite for Destruction. I'm like, I know that era that came out.
Sure.
In. Macho, swinging cock rock guys,
The guy in the jean vest smoking a cigarette at McDonald's with his kid in the play place. Yeah, that's Appetite for Destruction.
Here's the thing, John. I actually agree with you on Appetite for Destruction's deep cuts.
Yeah. but not on the singles. That
No. Like
yeah,
you
Sweet
have
Child of
Welcome
Mine,
to-
Timeless. Yeah.
Sweet Child of Mine,
November.
Paradise City, Welcome to the Jungle. That's hard to fucking beat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Slash is hard to beat. That's where I'm also at too. So
Yeah.
Throwing Mr. Brownstone too. That was also a single, and it just rules. Yeah.
unfair for Boston, but a worthy entry. I still stand by that. So
Yeah. A lot of Boston fans in the chat.
Unfortunate matchup,
Yeah.
unfortunate.
Really?
rough break. Maroon 5 Songs About Jane, one of the few Maroon 5 albums worth hearing, in my opinion. Versus Nine Inch Nails' Pretty Hate Machine. I love this so much.
I do too.
I didn't scroll, like, where it's on my screen, I can only see the one name before I scroll down. I love this random button so much. I have to figure out a way to pay the developers of this somehow. It's perfect.
I'm sure they have some kind of funding set up, dude. Go for it.
Maroon 5 Songs About Jane. 1, 2, 3.
I'm sorry.
I was
John.
about to, John. I was about to.
I know you weren't calling that
I was
one.
about to say.
Pretty Hate Machine. 1, 2, 3. You want to talk about keyboards and organs and synthesizers? You got them in
Right.
spades.
There we go.
Yes.
May I throw out the first hot take of this particular selection? I've been a defender of Songs About Jane for a long time. I've said those first two Maroon 5 albums are totally worth listening to. They're totally good.
Sure.
Listen to Songs About Jane again, just to kind of catch up my recollection here. I got to admit, it didn't hold up quite as well to my nostalgia. I get it. Still good. I'd still argue it's Maroon 5's best record. It's Maroon 5's most listenable record.
They had the best singles on that album too.
Yeah.
So
again, it's the singles. That album is very lopsided. Like,
this love, yeah.
That album has strong moments, but after Sunday Morning, I think, like right around that halfway mark, it just dies. It just completely falls off.
There's some good deep cuts, but it's not consistent in like how and where they're placed in the track list.
Sure.
There you go.
Yeah,
And also,
Pretty Hate Machine-
go ahead, Mark. Go ahead.
Pretty Hate Machine is fucking stacked. And the other thing I will say,
Nonstop.
the other thing I will say, and this is probably a little unfair because this comes up with Maroon 5 for me, I like It Won't Be Soon Before Long more than Songs About Jane.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
I don't, but I think it's closer than it is for most people. For
Yeah.
me,
I
too.
agree. Yeah.
I won't make an argument for that because those are the good albums. There's two.
Yeah.
So,
Uh-huh.
and also, you want to talk about originality and creativity at a time? Late 80s, we're talking about Sleaze with Guns N' Roses. 2 years later was Pretty Hate Machine in 89.
Yeah,
And they made
that's
that
crazy.
big of a deal. And it still sounds great. Songs About Jane is one of the good Maroon 5 albums. They weren't doing anything that hadn't been already done before.
Like, I'll be real, on the basis of Head Like a Hole alone, it clears all of Maroon 5.
Terrible
Yeah.
Lie
And-
at that point also. Yeah.
And the fact that we also get like
Yeah.
Terrible Lie.
Yeah.
and-
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Something I can never have.
Yeah.
And to top that, that's not even like their best record.
It's
That's
not.
like
No,
their
no.
third.
It's like one of their most.
Right there.
It's one of their least creative records for how much Trent Reznor did. So
But it
Yeah.
flows together.
it's
really,
so
really
good.
well.
It's so good. Yeah.
Oh, so good.
That matchup was fantastic. I love that one.
Yeah.
That was
I
my
love that
favorite
too.
so
That was-
far.
That's the kind of beauty you can only get from a randomizer.
Fallout Boy, Take This to Your Grave versus Spiritbox Eternal Blue.
Interesting.
Shockingly interesting, yeah.
Okay.
They're not alike, but at the same time, I feel like there are some similarities that can at least be gleaned from it. I don't know. I'm trying to think about.
Conversation.
Yes,
I get where it's
yes.
coming from, yeah.
Yeah.
I've
I
got
see
my
it.
answer.
I do too.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do too.
Fallout Boy, Take This to Your Grave. 1, 2, 3.
All right, it's
Okay.
a split. Yeah. It's a split. Okay.
That's fine. Spiritbox Eternal Blue. 1, 2, 3.
Because I want to see this go to the poll. Because
I do too, yeah.
I do too. I am a sucker for Courtney's vocals and all she can do. I think that gives the slight edge for me. They're different albums, but at the same time, I don't think that's Fall Out Boy's best album.
No.
Even close.
No, hell no.
And Spiritbox
I
doesn't
agree.
have many albums to work with. However,
I mean,
so,
yeah.
but I still stand by Eternal Blue, like all the creativity and what Courtney, it banks around Courtney's vocals. That's my big tipping point. Like them both.
I got to admit, I also have kind of a dog in this fight because I had been following Courtney since the I Wrestled a Bear days.
Yeah.
I
But
Wrestled
that's
a
the
Bear
unfair
days.
advantage here. Fall Out
Yeah.
Boy were just making a record for the first time. They've had so many albums that they've made in the past with other
Unless
bands.
you knew Race Trader.
Yeah.
Go ahead with any other comments you have.
Okay. Go
Poll
on.
is open.
Oh.
God have mercy on whoever's winning this poll.
Again, I'll just say if this had been like From Under the Cork Tree or like Infinity on High, if this had been any other Fall Out Boy record, there probably would have been a bigger blowout. But again, it's just take this to your grave. It has Grand Theft Autumn. It's got one or two other songs I generally enjoy,
Homesick
and then I
Space
just forget,
Camp,
I forget
Reinventing the
rest
Wheel
of
to
that
Run
in-
Myself Over. There's jams on that record, Craig.
There are.
And I
Sure.
I hate to say it, but I feel like there's a bit of recency bias too with Spiritbox. You know,
Also fair. Also fair.
I can't argue that, but at the same time, the recency bias for something really good weighs in, and I'm not thinking about that for the good. What are the good albums from Fall Out Boy too? I still think it's a good album. I like it. I'm just saying I enjoy the quality and what Courtney brings to the table more, not a slam on Fall Out Boy. That's all. Yeah.
I'm going to take a different approach to this because I did my Fall Out Boy video essay last year, and I listened to every Fall Out Boy album in depth, and oh boy, there's a lot more blemishes than a lot of people remember. It's rough in spots, especially lyrically. And Take This to the Grave is rough. It is.
I like it.
I do too.
I
and
like
that's
it,
why I'm
yeah,
on your
but-
side with this, but at the same time, I'm also like, I think the one benefit that album has is that it's more immediately memorable than I find Spiritbox is. I find a lot of going back to Spiritbox, it can feel very solid, but very heterogeneous. It falls into a same pattern very quickly.
Sure.
And I wanted there to be stronger singles that really put it over the top, and that didn't really happen on that album. Where I will say that Fall Out Boy, for as many lyrical moments go off the rails, the highs are stronger.
I can see that argument. Yeah.
No, Mark, I don't know, not to be an actually about it, but I'd actually argue that about the Fall Out Boy record. Like Eternal Blues, there's so many more songs that actually stick out from that record. Whereas when I was listening to Fall Out Boy, or when I was listening to Take This to Your Grave again, it was like, okay, there's Grand Theft Autumn. This song sounds the same. This song sounds the same. This song sounds the same. Again, that's just personal preference, I guess.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's one of those weird cases. I think both albums are not great. I think they're kind of balancing out that I imagine Spiritbox will do better in the future. I think Spiritbox's potential has not fully been realized. I know Fall Out Boys has, but it also allows you to go back to what Pete Wentz was writing, and he has certain signifiers that translate to his debut that hadn't been fully refined, but were still there.
Again, I agree with John. There's
it.
definitely some recency bias going on,
And that's fine, but
And I think Patrick Stump wrote most of the lyrics on Take This to Your Grave, whereas Pete Wentz took over as the sole writer
Later on.
after that. So,
Later, there was more collaboration on Take This to Your Grave for sure.
Yeah.
to the poll, it's super close. 56% Eternal Blue.
Oh, okay.
Close.
I
Close.
would not have called that. I honestly, that's a surprise.
You know, I'm okay with it. That's interesting. They're gonna get crushed in the next round, but okay.
Probably. Oh yeah, that's right. R.I.P. R.I.P. I'm glad.
Spiritbox.
I did what I could for you, Courtney.
My Chemical Romance, I Brought You My Love, You Brought Bullets, versus Korn's
not quite.
self-titled.
Wow.
I know that's not the actual. When it gets to the long album titles, I can never remember the long, super long ones. Yeah, I know it's the debut. But My Chemical Romance debut versus Korn's debut. Everyone ready?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I'm ready physically, not spiritually.
Oh, I should have done it this way. Oh, are you ready? Should I just been the total dork and done it that way? For My Chemical Romance. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, y'all.
Get out of here, guys. What are we supposed to say?
Sorry.
As someone who likes Korn albums, this isn't their best. It's not even close.
Nah.
Anyone else want to go while I set this up? You guys go for it.
It's not MCR's best either.
No.
Oh, believe me, I got.
There's an argument for it being their weakest, but it's still better than.
But it's still the higher value of quality and writing and craftsmanship. And
if we're gonna do a fight against Korn, you need Korn's best album versus MCR's weakest.
Yeah.
So what Korn album would that even be, though? Would he
later on, it would probably be the. I would say the Skrillex album, Path of Totality.
No, you would not. No, Follow the Leader.
See, that one has good singles and trash. It's a weird mix of good and bad. The yin and yang of new metal in the 90s, of terrible cringe and really good stuff. And that's weird. The
album is so badly produced.
It is.
I can't get on board
really
with that.
Shitty.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. No, I'm saying Path of Totality is their worst.
Yeah.
This
one's not good either. Woof. Oh, can I give y'all just an idea of how bad this record is?
Sure, please.
Again, I know I'm the resident Korn hater person. Again, I'm trying to extend the olive branch here. Korn would go on to do better things. They would go on to make that sound make sense. But again, it took them a few tries, and this first go is rough. You want to know how rough this was? When I put it on, again, I hate to bring you into this, but
that's not a puppy album. That is not a puppy album. What are you doing?
Yeah. Oh no, he barked at the subwoofer. He hated it.
Fieldy's bass. Woofer. The woofer got it.
I wish I caught it on camera. It was the cutest thing in the world, but he did not like that record, and I was right there with him.
Yeah, good.
It's
also Crash.
You could argue Korn's impact was huge, and it was.
Yes.
It was.
I don't think I like the impact that it brought.
It's just aged. It's aged. I think this might be the worst aged album on the entire.
Yeah. Oh yeah, this was the worst album that I listened to out of everything.
Honestly, I think I'm up there too. This might be the worst, which I still think it's a fair entry. I get why. But man, oh man, guys, there is so not only dated, but there is so much questionably bad material that made it onto this album, and this was their
like the nursery
best put forward. A lot of people did because that was a single. So
I know.
Here's the thing: I can look at that, and I can also look at everything else that came out in rock in '94 alone.
Yeah.
In terms of news,
definitely, maybe. Oh my God! Just keep going. Garbage came out in '94. The self-titled debut. My God.
I get the Korn's placement in the time, but honestly, we met her off with Deftones' debut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's not even their best either. But I would still take that over
Adrenaline
everything.
is nowhere near their best.
No, it's not.
Competitive against MCR,
yes, it would be competitive.
Yeah.
That one
would have been more competitive.
There's much more of an argument over my cab. So
not that competitive, but it would have been competitive.
More competitive. That's what I meant.
Yeah, that's.
But positively, instead of just talking shit on Korn, I will say positively for Bullets. I think there's a lot of great songs in there. The production was raw as hell.
Yes.
We all know that, right?
They did what they could. They made what they could. So
Jeff Rickley from the band Thursday produced that record, and I love Thursday, so I just love the sound of Bullets. It's raw. It's got some great singles like Vampires and Honey This Mirror, but deep cuts too. Head First for Halos, Cubicles, Best Day Ever. Yeah,
Best Day Ever.
I'm with you on that, John. I'm a big Bullets defender when it comes to my chem.
Yep.
So I'll be interested to see what our next round is going to be, because they may between you and me, they may still have a dog in this fight. So we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Up next, The Killers' Hot Fuss versus Weezer's Blue Album. Oh goodness.
Oh.
Wow. Okay.
Crashing. You got something you want to tell us.
You all saw me hit the random button. I don't want to hear any crap about how I had something to do with this.
They both have blue album covers.
They do.
They do.
The Killers' Hot Fuss. 1, 2, 3.
Can't believe this. I can't believe John? Really?
Dude, it's front loaded, man.
Okay. Okay.
Weezer's The Blue Album. 1, 2, 3. Boy,
You said it, because that's what I was gonna say. I again, re-listening to the Killers, again, listening to Hot Fuss, it's better than I remember it for the first 6 or 7 tracks, and then
see,
I like some of the ones at the end. They're just nowhere near the level of all these things that I've done, and somebody told me, you know.
My thing is, though, I kind of the opposite with Blue Album. For me, I kept myself again like revisiting this, falling in and out of focus again. Some of the deep cuts were just.
It's aged. It's aged.
Yes, it has.
Yes.
So I'm glad this is going to pull, because this is going to cause a big fight, and a lot of the nerds out there are going to be real upset.
Oh, this is going to be brutal too. Oh my god.
Poll is open.
This is one of those weird. This is one of those weird cases. I think that, like, the Blue Album has moments that I adore, but I ultimately think the highs of Hot Fuss go onto a higher tier to me. Like, as much as I'm going to go compare to Say It Ain't So, Buddy Holly, Sweater Song, I go, Somebody Told Me,
Mr. Brightside,
All Things I Have Done, Jane, You're a Star, Smile Like You Mean It. Like, there's just a higher quantity of great on Hot Fuss. And honestly, like, I will defend more Killers deep cuts than I probably should. So that is a me thing. So I don't even love Hot Fuss like that, but again, it's not my favorite. The Blue Album is also not my favorite Weezer album, because I'm still one of those people who defends Pinkerton. So,
yo, I get that too. Hey, another one for the sophomore bracket if we ever do that.
Yeah.
That'll be interesting. That'll be very interesting.
Just putting it out there, I love both of these records. I do. If we were just comparing the singles from the albums, I would easily go Killers. That's saying something, because I love the singles on the Weezer album. But I just think that the Blue Album is just this really nice, tight, 40-minute package. Yeah. It's got all the songs. The deep cuts are generally good, interesting, if you're not paying attention to the lyrics, in some places.
Exactly. But no, John, I agree. As a whole package, Blue Album.
Yeah.
Again, I've had my history with this band, but even I can agree, as a whole package, the Blue Album is just. It's a nice, cozy little ride. Killers is a more explosive ride. It burns brighter but fades quicker.
It's like a roller coaster.
It's the roller coaster, yeah.
It shoots you out at a really high speed, but you start slowing down, and you're like, oh, I'm just waiting to go back into the. And I just in past history too, I've gone back to Hot Fuss more in the past 10 years than I've gone to Blue Album by a long shot. That's fair. Totally fair. That's another big thing for me. I've never seen the Killers live either. I'm jealous about that. I've always wanted to. I know. They're better than Weezer live. I've shot Weezer live. I know that. I can already guarantee that just seeing it, because nothing against Weezer live, but it's just Rivers. It's just Rivers. Rivers is it. Yeah. So yeah. He wore a sombrero when I saw him at Boston Calling, so there was that. Oh well. Rivers, not Brandon Flowers. No, I got you. 60% the Blue Album. I had a respectable differential between the crowd. I get it. Yeah.
I mean, I can't even blame you.
I can't be mad. I cannot be mad about it. So we're finally done with the first round.
Oh wow! Yeah, I knew that was going to take a while.
We might jump off super chats for a while.
That's fine. Yeah. Keep them coming. The thing is, we'll go faster now because it's half the bands.
Yeah.
And we've had a lot of these discussions, so we can
already, so we can kind of make it more brief.
We don't have to repeat ourselves.
We're going.
We already see the first 2 matchups already, guys. Thank you guys for hanging out. Please hit the like button. For every like, Crash will pet little guy at least once. It helps out for the channel. Please share the link. Please keep the super chats coming. It helps a ton. Also wanted to point out, no Gorillaz, no Metallica, no Mars Volta.
There's a lot that I was surprised that were left off. We didn't get the Strokes either, did we?
We did not. It was number 33, so I had to bump that down. I know.
Darn, that would have been a great one.
It would have. Yeah. So.
Okay.
Garbage Self-Titled versus Linkin Park's Hybrid Theory.
Now the hearts are going to get broken.
This is weird way to match this up.
It's weird.
very
Yeah,
different
it's a
parts.
very weird matchup.
Yeah.
My heart is very torn in two different directions.
These are two different stages at a multi-genre festival that have nothing to do with each other. So
yeah, for
Very
real.
different crowd.
all right.
Yeah.
Garbage. Does everyone have an answer? Because this is a difficult
Yup.
one.
I got mine.
Okay.
I got mine.
Yep.
Garbage self-titled. 1, 2, 3.
I hate to say it, but for me, this is not even close.
Yeah.
Dang.
You know how much Linkin Park means to me growing up with Hybrid Theory, but Garbage self-titled truly shines a little more for all that's encompassed with Shirley and Vig and how much they made with so much feeling and emotion. Not to say that obviously Hybrid Theory has emotion, but man, that release was just so bombastic and big. And Hybrid Theory, I love it. Not everything has aged like fine wine on Hybrid Theory.
I would argue that not everything on Garbage's debut is aged like fine
Sure.
wine. And I also don't think it's close to their best record. No, I don't think Hybrid Theory is Linkin Park's best.
true.
But with Garbage, I don't know. Even if it had been version 2.0 against Hybrid Theory, my vote would have been
Still been Hybrid Theory?
different.
I love it, so you're not going to hear an argument from me.
I get it. Yeah, no. For me, it's definitely a production thing that pushes it over the edge because man, the production on Garbage is self-titled, even for that embryonic stage, is so good. That record is just crystal for what it sounds like.
Did
And
Butch
while
Vig
Linkin-
produce it?
He helped.
Did he do the
Him and someone else was in
He
it.
helped,
Yeah.
yeah. And
Hmm.
like, man, and while Linkin Park is good for its time, they would get better. And it's just like, it's I don't know. For me, it's hard to
See,
deny.
Production is not the one thing production is actually one of those points where I think they're actually more close than I think maybe people give them credit, because I think Hybrid Theory, for as much as it annoys me in the content, I think the production is actually pretty close.
Mm,
Yeah.
I think it's the
that's fair.
content of Garbage's first album that puts it above for me.
Friend Emperor Tiger Star is in the chat. He says, throws 2000 CD player stereo out my window in anger. Well,
Checks out.
Sorry,
For the
dude.
time,
I'm
for the music that was
sorry.
in it.
Yeah, fair enough.
Sunny Day Real Estate's Diary versus Pearl Jam's 10.
Damn it! Oh, damn it! Oh,
I'm gonna give you all a minute.
This is the one that's gonna kill me. Oh my god. Oh.
Hmm.
Oh.
We're all gonna have at least one bracket that hurts.
This is the one that hurts me, y'all. Oh.
Hurts you more than it hurts me. I know what I'm picking.
Oh.
I know what I'm picking too.
Yep, I got you.
Sorry, Crash.
Alrighty, let's do it.
If it makes you feel better, Crash, blame the random button.
Yep.
Sunny Day Real Estate, Diary. 1, 2, 3.
Chaos is a bitch. Oh, damn it. Oh, come on. Somebody else vote for Diary, please.
I
Let us
can't.
go to a
Not
poll.
against 10. Not against 10.
Yeah.
Pearl
know.
Jam's 10. 1, 2, 3.
I mean, I
The
know,
sun
I'm the
has
same way,
set
but
on
it's-
the Sunny Day Real Estate.
It's
Oh,
so
I
close.
question
so
how many of
close.
y'all in the
Close.
chat have actually heard Diary.
yeah, that's fair
Oh,
to
you
you
need
guys.
to.
Diary
You need
is
to,
one of the
yeah.
gems
Yeah.
that should have been examined from the 90s much more than it was, you know?
Yeah.
Diary
It's just a
deserves.
little overrated to me. I'm sorry. It's just a little overrated.
Mm.
I agree. At the same time, there's the best parts of 10 just stick with me in a way that Diary
that's-
doesn't.
In circles.
That's what it is.
Devin.
I mean,
I
it's
know.
there, but at
Yeah.
the same time, Sunny Day Real Estate, it's kind of well, for me, it's partially nostalgia. Again, I came into Sunny Day Real Estate much later than I did Pearl Jam, and Pearl Jam is like, again,
Same.
third record I ever bought. One of the albums that made me like music, period. I also got to say, Pearl Jam has so much, it has more die-hard emotion going on. It has more narrative going on behind it too. It has the story songs. It has those tracks that are really about
Ooh.
something. Whereas Sunny Day Real Estate, it's a fantastic album. It's an emotional album, but it's more about vibe. It's more about creating an atmosphere.
I think they both have. I get what you're saying. I think they both have vibe. Yeah, I think they both have
Mark? You're saying I'm
vibe.
wrong here.
Mark, go ahead.
No. Now, granted, I'm with you in terms of I think the highs of 10 are better. And my personal opinion, if this was between Promise Ring and 10, it's closer.
Ooh, okay.
Like the band, The Promise Ring?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
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 I think that's
Okay.
closer. But I do think there's more layers in Diary that deserve examination.
For sure. Yeah,
definitely.
I'm with you on that.
Definitely.
No.
There was
that
nothing.
one hurt.
What's
That one
wild too?
hurt.
I just hits me. There was barely 4 years between these albums, even though they feel like wildly different time frames. You know,
That's true. Yeah.
The 90s were like that.
The
They
90s,
were
Yeah, they were.
changing like every other
Oh.
year. It was something completely different.
It was wild. It absolutely was.
And then by the end of it, we had boy bands.
yeah. Well, yeah, boy bands and post grunge. That's what we got.
And Modest Mouse.
Hey,
There you go, there you go.
Antarctica.
Up next, Van Halen 1 versus Ozzy Osbourne's Blizzard of Ozz.
Not close.
Not close.
Not close. Not close.
No.
I hate to say it.
Van Halen 1. 1, 2, 3.
And I'm probably the
Yeah.
biggest Blizzard of Ozz defender you're on the entire chat.
When it's those two, yeah, Van Halen 1 for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, no, it's not close. It's not.
Yeah.
Eruption alone is just blasted away in my head right now. So
Eruption's so good.
R.I.P.
It
Eddie.
is.
Man,
I
although
know.
we did just pit Randy Rhoads against Eddie Van Halen.
we did that.
Yeah.
We didn't pit
That's
nothing.
true.
We didn't pit nothing.
No.
The random
no,
button
the
did
random
that.
buzzer.
That's not my
Right.
fault.
Yeah.
The thing is that like I have opinions on this, but they're like a half-hour digression in guitar technique. We don't need to go into it now.
So do
Yeah.
I, Mark. It's okay.
Yeah.
Let's not bore the poor people here. I guess
Uh,
we can have this discussion in private.
Randy Rhoads versus Eddie Van Halen, guitar off. We missed something special by that. Not seeing that.
I'm sad.
It's okay.
People
you
are
weren't
just.
alive.
We were all weren't alive.
You're
People
right,
are just
I
saying
wasn't alive.
this is a. People are just saying VH1 in the chat, and like I just made me think because they're saying Van Halen 1. Yeah, this is a VH1 special at this point.
Is that what they named the channel after?
Van Halen?
Yeah, Van Halen 1. They were just huge fans.
It could be worse, you know. So, alrighty.
Yeah.
Black
Could have been
Sabbath.
MTV too.
Yeah, Black Sabbath self-titled versus Oasis. Definitely maybe.
Oh boy.
Okay,
Oh, I
there's
know.
our most apples and oranges comparison there. Oh,
That's very
is.
much.
They're both from England.
both English, like middle to lower class.
Yeah.
The existential angst comes through. They both hate everybody.
People
And they're
involved with the
brothers.
production and making are monsters.
Yes.
yeah.
Okay.
No one would have thought.
Damn.
Everyone have an answer because this is not a fair one, but that's where we're at.
I got one, but I don't think.
Yeah,
people
I-
will
Yeah,
like
I
it.
got one. I don't even know if I can defend it that well, but okay.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Black Sabbath. 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Oh, it's the poll. It's the poll.
This is a
Alright.
weird
Alright.
poll. Oasis definitely
Weird
maybe.
poll.
1, 2, 3.
This is gonna be so weird.
You
Oh, I
guys
can't
go
even-
for it. Go for it because I'm making the poll.
Okay, here's the
Hey.
thing. Again, for as much as I respect what Black Sabbath's self-titled means to popular music in general, I don't know. Oasis definitely maybe. It's just the more fun listen. It's got the more jammy stuff on it. You know, it's the one I'm gonna go to if I just want to listen to something that's fun and that's just gonna have a great time behind it. Black Sabbath is more historically important. I will not argue that at all. I don't know, man. Definitely, maybe it's just a better time. Though,
Yeah.
it's the difference between two very different drunk crowds. If I got to pick one
Yes.
drunk crowd,
There are different types of
I
alcohol
wanna
at
be
that
in
point,
the
aren't they?
Oasis
crowd over
pit.
Yeah.
Put me in the Oasis drunk bar pit.
yeah,
As someone who doesn't drink, isn't that different types of alcohol too? One would really like cause you to like
Yeah.
punch
Yeah.
people. One causes
yeah.
you to punch people. One causes you to love people. Is that
Yeah.
right?
yes,
Okay.
I'll go with the love crowd. Nah.
See, Black Sabbath, I get. You don't want to play at the family barbecue in the summer when everyone's shining. But again, Black Sabbath, the playing and the skill produced at a time right in that verging of the 1970, I will always respect. And this is coming from someone who really likes Definitely Maybe. This is just an unfair, weird matchup. That is what the brackets did. I defend Black Sabbath, though. You know,
Yeah.
Gerard and Tommy.
It's
Yeah,
like, but at the end of the day, am I voting for what I think is more, iconic and historically important, or the one that I enjoy more? And I gotta
Sure.
go with Oasis because
And
that's
I
the
vote,
one
yeah.
that I.
And I voted
You know,
that way
I
on other
just-
albums too, so I get it.
And that's
don't
the
really
point.
enjoy
I go
listening to
for
Black
what
Sabbath.
I enjoy more.
Yeah.
I go for Black Sabbath.
Right.
Like
Again, fair, 100%
I've
fair.
gone to goth albums I've gone to goth clubs that'll just play that album back to front.
Yeah.
And I
I bet
can't
it's a
even
good time,
friggin'
too. Hell yeah.
blame them.
And again,
that is
yeah.
that is my vibe. There is so much in terms of the texture of that environment. And it's not even that so much of the songcraft, because I would argue the songcraft gets a little bit meandering in terms of the back half of that album.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the atmosphere is so
It's
impressive.
thick and it's hypnotic almost. And also where Oasis definitely maybe sounds like the 90s, Black Sabbath sounds like metal. Like the definition.
Black Sabbath is timeless. It's timeless.
Yeah.
It's
So
You know, I think, Mark, you said it best. Like, at the end of the day, this is just a battle of vibes.
It
That's
is.
the only thing.
Exactly.
very different vibes. Yeah.
Very different vibes, but it's
Yep.
just whatever the vibe is.
Like
I'm so interested to see how this pulls.
I've had the cheap beer drinking to both of these bands. I would rather hang out with the Black Sabbath fans.
Okay.
That's
I'd
fair.
rather hang out with the Oasis crowd,
Okay.
but
Yeah.
then again, I don't know if either of them would be my scene.
Yeah.
That-
I'm
that would be a
with
lot.
John. I'm with John on that. I don't know if either would actually be my scene for the crowd. So
Yeah, I don't like as someone
The
who does
crowd.
drink sometimes. I don't like being around drunk people.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
The poll is a 2/3 vote, 67% to Black Sabbath.
Fair. You know what? Fair. 100%.
I get it.
I get it.
I'm
We're
100%
talking about classic
fair.
albums. It's hard to compare.
Yeah.
Hard to compare. Man, we got fun on the next bracket when this comes.
Oh, I know.
Oh, fun with Nate Ruiz.
No,
Fun,
they
some
didn't make
nice
the. They didn't have a bye in the first round,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
they didn't get in.
all
Nice.
right. Block Party Silent Anthem. Or Silent Alarm,
Silent
excuse me.
Alarm.
Whatever, Silent Alarm. My brain's mush right now from making all this, sorry. Block
fine.
Party Silent Alarm versus Rage Against the Machine self-titled.
I mean, arguably, that's a battle of the vibes as well.
It is.
Yes, that is correct. Oh, there's a vibe in Rage Against the Machine self-titled, and it's one you don't want to be around at a certain point. So
Mark, what were you
Yeah.
going to say? I'm sorry.
I need you to focus, man. We're on a
It's
certain
hard. It's hard, though. Oh, I'll try.
Block Party Silent Alarm. 1, 2, 3.
Hate me, I don't give a fuck.
Let's go. Let's go. Silent alarm.
go.
I had a
Let's do
feeling.
Yes.
Rage Against the Machine. 1, 2, 3. 2 thumbs up, and Ivan's looking at me with a yes, so it's a tie. We go to the poll.
Gosh. No. You know, I'm throwing
Really?
little guy in here.
Oh, yeah, you got
Yeah.
little guy.
I
Oh,
saw him
you wanna-
raising a paw back there.
You want to
Oh,
count
God.
animals, Crash? Would you like to count animal
Oh,
votes?
okay.
You know
I'll
I'll
pull
win.
Hannah in here right now.
All right. Man, never
Block
mind.
Party wins. Let me say this. The vibe of Rage Against the Machine we were just talking about, that's a vibe that still lives up today in every single note, every riff, every lyric, every drum hit.
Get it.
Love
No, no, no.
it. And Silent Alarm is awesome. You're talking to someone who's had Silent Alarm for a day.
See, that's what it is. You haven't had the time to soak with it, man. If you had had that album back from like 2005, 2003,
Yeah, 05.
yeah,
05,
2000
yeah.
if you'd had that since 2005, you'd be right here with us, man. You would know what we were on. But
Yeah.
I'm taking a
The
note
other
out of
thing I wanna
Gretchen's.
highlight
Go ahead,
here
go ahead.
is that one thing I will say is that like Rage would get better.
they would,
Yeah.
they would.
Well,
They would, and they were already great. So
Well, yeah, that's true. No, they were
Sophomore
great out of
album,
the gate.
Rage
They
Yeah.
just got better.
Rage
I know
is
what
a
you
heavyweight in like a sophomore category because I think their sophomore album is
Evil
their
Empire.
best.
Evil
Yeah.
Empire
Yeah.
rules.
I'm with you. Yeah, Evil Empire.
I'm a Battle Los Angeles diehard, but
I'm right
still,
there.
Evil
That's-
Empire is still up there too. So
That's top tier for me too,
Yeah.
Luke. I get it.
again,
Evil Empire is my shit, so like
I get
it.
that. And also, I'm going to listen to Silent Alarm more, but I'm still always going to listen to Rage Against the Machine. So
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Both.
This is
Honestly.
going to be very sentimental, but one of my favorite moments that's tied to Silent Alarm, it's featured in the season 1 finale of How I Met Your Mother.
Oh.
okay,
And that scene where like Ted hooks up with Robin and then he goes back and he sees Marshall in the steps having just broken up with Lily and he's holding the ring in his hand because they called off the engagement. I'm like, oh shit. And this is like it's tied to This Modern Love.
Oh, okay.
Oh shit! Yeah.
And I'm like,
I get it.
fuck, this
Yeah.
kind of like Like
get
it
too.
is a deep cut of that album. And I'm like, oh shit, this deep cut suddenly has transcendent moment for it for one of the best early seasons of TV in the 2000s.
So
That's totally.
Yeah.
I totally feel you on that. If I could just briefly share my, reminiscent moment that I have with Block Party, Silent Alarm. I got into that record because I bought a PS2 in 2005, and the first game that I got was Burnout Revenge, and it had Helicopter on the soundtrack.
On Burnout? Oh, that's cool.
Oh, this goes crazy. I'm driving a
That
fast
song
car.
goes
That's
so hard
cool.
too. Yeah,
It's
just
so
like
good.
his dad. Just like
Oh.
his dad. Oh,
Yeah, dude. Do you know how hard that goes when you're driving 200 miles per hour in a video game?
yeah.
It goes
in a
hard.
Burnout game.
you know
that
how
makes-
far
which-
you know how hard rage
one was
goes
that?
when you're driving 200 miles per hour in a video game? Because
I
there were
wouldn't know
racing
it.
games
My
also.
sister gave
They
me
were.
the soundtrack.
They were. So, you know how hard? Oh, that wasn't the same album. Never. I was going to say, you know how hard Guerrilla Radio hits on Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2? Pretty
Yeah.
hard.
Okay,
So,
that's
No, I
fair.
get what.
That is
no,
also
yeah,
very
I
fair.
know.
It's valid.
also,
Valid.
I was going to make a joke, and this is a bad joke before we get going. So, in the last episode of How I Met Your Mother, did they play "Killing in the Name" just to rile up and just dump all over everything while that episode happened?
Oh,
As someone who was never a diehard, but was a
Mark. I think we sent Mark back to a dark place.
I know. As someone
think
who
we
was never,
did, yeah.
who liked the show,
Oh,
was
you
not a
did.
diehard, even I knew that was really messed up what you did with that last episode.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I'm gonna need a minute.
Fair.
let me have that one. Rage Lost,
One of my-
okay? So,
one of my biggest videos, like in 2014, was my reaction post
To that
How I
episode?
Met Your Mother's final episode. Because I did a 15-minute video discussing the continuity.
I think I remember
club.
you showing that. Yeah.
Yeah, Jesus, like I loved that sitcom more than I should have.
A lot
Uh,
of people did. It was.
it was
It was
worth. No,
just
it
the
was
la-
worth
it's
it.
the laugh track. It's the laugh track for me, if I'm honest.
They
I have
overdo
a
it with
hard-
that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it feels very dated to its time.
Yeah.
Eh.
No, I feel. But that's fair. I like shows that have laugh tracks
Yeah.
that I knew from back in the day. It's just hard for me to get into
Yeah.
new shows from old times or
Yeah.
Gotcha.
other way around.
I mean, I liked Mama's Family when I was growing up, and that show had already been off the air. That's one of the most early 80s show you can imagine. I wasn't even born before it went off the air, but I still
I
liked
remember
it.
reruns.
Yeah,
I remember
there you go,
reruns.
reruns,
of
yeah.
that.
on that show all the time.
Yeah, it's worth it because it's good. It's the 80s, but it's good.
Yeah.
All right. Idols Brutalism versus GunsNRoses Appetite for Destruction.
Holy shit!
Oh, I feel so.
You guys are ready for a moment of silence.
Oh, it's not gonna be.
Oh, I'm gonna have to kill some babies with this vote.
Shall we join hands and sing Kumbaya before this one? Or
I'm gonna take a note out of my lovely wife Gretchen's playbook when she streams. In the arms of an angel.
All right.
Oh man.
do you have
Okay.
$5 to donate today?
To Axl Rose. Look at the guy. He
No,
needs
to
it.
the- I was thinking of the Sarah McLachlan commercial.
I know you are. I know.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Idols Brutalism. 1, 2, 3.
This hurts.
Go, okay.
This hurts.
That's
I
fine.
You know what? You know what? No.
Oh.
Oh. Okay.
No.
You know what? Good. Good. It goes.
I
to a
won't let
poll.
it happen, Mark. I
I
will
just
not
got-
let it
Are
happen.
you guys just pushing the buck to the crowd so they have to vote on it?
No.
I'm okay with that mistake. Y'all go right ahead.
Okay.
No.
All right. Make your points while I make the poll.
All right. I actually do have legit points here. I think Idols is a smarter album.
Absolutely.
It's a smarter album. I think it's a tighter album. I think in terms of overall construction, on par with production, it's okay. It's about the same area when it comes to production. Because again, I think Appetite for Destruction is really well produced. It just goes off where it's supposed to. The one thing where I will give Idols a certain amount of like additional meat is that it will go to places that Appetite of Destruction will not go. Like Appetite for Destruction has an element of danger that was there for the late 80s. Whereas like Brutalism will go to places that you will not be able to handle in the mid to late 2010s.
Yeah.
I think there is an edge to like Idols' Brutalism that is often not discussed. I also think, again, maybe some of this is me with the art school like punk side of this, and I'm like it makes so much like it makes so many references to abstract experimental impressionist art on his back half. That's my shit. And Mother goes so hard. And like 1049 Gotho goes so hard. And it is my shit. But at the same time, I'm like, I know I'm fighting uphill. I know I'm probably going to lose this, but I don't fucking care. I will take Brutalism in more areas than most.
So for me, I think it's like a battle, a toss-up, because it's like, I think initially I voted Appetite for Destruction because I felt like, oh, this is the classic. Like, you know, it's just, there's almost like a bias that I feel like I flipped myself that I didn't mean to. But when I listened to Brutalism again, I feel like that album, like Mark was saying, I mean, they're definitely aiming for two different crowds, two different things.
Yeah.
Is it the smarter record? Sure. But I think I enjoy it slightly more now as a full record, just because, like, looking at it, I think if we look back at it like 10 years from now, it's going to be an album that lyrically captured so much of the overwhelming, like, political anxiety, personal everything from a certain time period. And obviously, Idols are never going to be as big as GNR. So it's likely not going to get the fair shot that it deserves from a lot of people. So
Crash, go ahead.
See, for me, this was razor thin. This was like, John, I probably came about this close to doing what you did because, like, again, they're such different. They're two different.
It's an unfair matchup for a lot of reasons.
Yeah,
sure.
The fact that it's as definitive as it is saying something.
Absolutely. I think what it is just. Again, not that this isn't on the Idols record, it absolutely is, but just the rawness of Appetite for Destruction. And again, where Appetite for Destruction, I feel like, again, maybe this is just history bias kind of coming in here, but like, again, when that album dropped in 87, when that album dropped in 87, again, it was just such a shocking, just such an absolutely obliterating, like, wow, they're actually doing this. They're actually going there. And man, it still feels that shocking. It still feels that intense and that crazy and that lurid. And like, again, Idols also goes to places that are that, well, not extreme. It also goes to extremes, but in like different kind of mindset, a different kind of way. This is hard to put into words, you know what I mean? But it's a different feeling, but at the same time, again, maybe this is just because it hasn't had the time to create that sort of aesthetic, that kind of legacy that Appetite for Destruction has. But man, it's just, I don't, listening to Appetite, every time I listen to Appetite for Destruction, I get that, man, this record really is just that crazy. I get reminded of how crazy and how off the wall that record is. Whereas Brutalism, I always enjoy it. But there's also a bit of like complacency there. There's a bit like, again, Guns N' Roses stayed crazy. You know, for everything else we want to say about Guns N' Roses, they stayed crazy. Like the Spaghetti Incident is fucking nuts. Use Your Illusion, those albums are nuts. They stayed crazy. Idols went through a much different sort of career path, a much different career trajectory. And again, while I respect the hell out of Brutalism, I love the hell out of it, I just feel like, man, again, for the impact that Guns N' Roses had, and again, that's not fair to Brutalism too, because it's a completely different market they came out in. This is not fair, but to me, Guns N' Roses just barely has that edge, just because of what they allowed to happen. Like, you know, in their own weird way, because of Appetite for Destruction, Brutalism could exist in a weird way that did open some doors.
Let me put it like this: if Appetite for Destruction dropped in 2017, the same year as Idols did, do you think it would have had the same powerful impact?
I think that's impossible. That's impossible to even gauge, because again, so much of what has happened up to 2017 is because of what, you know, Guns N' Roses did. if there hadn't been anything like Guns N' Roses up to that point, again, it would have been a different crowd. It would have been a different effect. It would have been a whole different stratosphere. But I think it honestly would have. I have to say, I think it honestly, again, different effect. It would have been a different effect, but I feel like it would have been on that same level of importance and impact. I really do.
It's okay, because I know that Luke is going to come up here and say that it's 75% Guns N' Roses versus 25% Idols.
Or less.
I mean,
Probably.
probably something like that.
We do need to move on to the next,
Again,
to be fair. So
yeah. Again, for me, this was close. I got to admit, it's so apples and oranges. But
68%.
oh,
It's a little better than
Appetite for Destruction.
that's impressive. I figured it'd be much more of a
The
blowout.
fact that Idols can do that well against what is considered one of the classic albums of the 80s is saying a lot.
Says a
All
lot.
time, really, with
Says a
that.
lot.
I mean, yeah.
No, that is one of the biggest debuts of all time by far.
Yeah.
Y'all got taste, and we all appreciate it.
Yeah.
9 Inch Nails' Pretty Hate Machine versus Spiritbox Eternal Blue.
This
My
isn't really fair.
My
We really like Courtney
Sorry.
and Mike. They're nice. They're 9 Inch Nails. 1,
I wrestled
2,
a nail once.
3. Oh, good one, John. For Pretty Hate Machine, yeah.
I mean, again, just not.
Pretty
It's not a
good.
fair comparison.
It's pretty, yeah. I don't know what else to say other than the fact that it's just
fucked by the randomizer.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean,
there you go.
yeah. From a very talented band to a very talented band with unbridled creativity. So,
Yeah. I wouldn't call Eternal Blue a groundbreaker in the way that I would Pretty Hate
I agree.
Machine.
I would totally agree.
I also think Pretty Hate Machine tends to get a little bit underrated by people who always put the downward spiral.
They do.
It does.
Even the
It
Fragile,
honestly-
yeah.
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 Well, I don't like the Fragile, but that's my
I do.
own.
I like it a lot,
mean,
but it's not my favorite.
I get you.
I
get you.
love the
But,
Fragile.
Yeah,
So-
I really like the Fragile.
I
too.
know. I know my issues with the Fragile are my own, and they are a story. They are a volume of discourse that deserves to be in its own different video.
I don't know if Pushing Up Roses is going to ever see this, but she's the 9 Inch Nails diehard. I only hope that 9 Inch Nails does well in this poll so she doesn't try to burn down something if they don't. So
I think they got a good chance.
I mean, they've
They
had a great run
really
already.
do.
No one
Yeah.
not eliminated yet.
they're a band that swept both ranks. So
Yeah.
That's
Both
saying
brackets.
something. We haven't
Yep.
had many sweeps.
My Chemical Romance. I brought you flowers. You brought me bullets. Is that the title? I always get
I
it
brought
long.
you
once
my
we-
bullets. You brought me your love.
There we go. There we go. I apologize. What brain is mush. Weezer, the Blue Album.
Oh.
Talk. Speaking of bringing bullets.
Oh gosh.
Oh dear.
No, I mean I know.
I have an answer for this. Yeah.
Oh, I got one.
You? Oh, I don't like this.
I don't
like
either. Oh god, that's really tough for me.
Is
Actually,
it weird that I'm the only one who's super confident in their answer?
I don't.
A little bit.
I know my
Yes.
answer. I just don't feel great about it.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I don't.
I'm with you right there.
I don't either.
Oh.
But all right.
My Chemical Romance. 1, 2, 3.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
No,
I'm
I
okay with
Because it's
Yeah,
the Blue
I
Album
said it's
over
close.
My Chem's debut. So Blue Album.
See.
1, 2, 3.
And that I
any
get.
This-
other My Chem record.
that I get.
Any other
Yeah.
My Chem record.
This
I would've
feels
voted on.
weird.
And that's again. I'm a big Bullets defender. I think there's a lot going on that album that's so interesting and so fascinating. It's a wonderful snapshot into what this band would become. It's
Yeah.
so interesting. But I agree with y'all. The production's really rough.
Yeah.
Even a lot of the song construction is like, really, what the hell are you guys doing?
No,
I feel like
But I kind of love it for that in a way.
same. No, that's where I'm coming from.
There's a
that is
charm
the-
to it, yeah, but
Yes,
yeah.
that it is the much more charming record. It's the record that's definitely aged better, in my opinion. And I don't know. It's just
I don't know.
I don't know. As much history as I have with the Blue Album, a lot of that is just like nostalgia. A lot of that is just like
The
a
thing
lot
is,
of that is rose tinted glasses.
sure.
It's going up against Pretty Hate Machine. It's going to lose.
Yeah, well, that'll be
Yeah.
nice. But
Yeah.
also, I want to say Weezer's Blue Album is one of the few Weezer albums that has the good charm, the charm you want to be around and actually engage
Also-
with. So, yeah.
That's fair.
So,
Now, if this had been Ratatouille, it would have been a sweep.
oh yeah.
For Ratatouille.
We're not talking about perfect albums. We're talking about debut albums.
I'm
There's
sorry.
a difference.
I'm sorry, I
yes,
forgot.
clearly.
We weren't talking classics.
Don't suggest too much of that. That means someone's going to suggest do a worst albums ever bracket, and it's just going to be nagging. We're not going to do it. So,
Right.
so
That would just be too
Elite
too
Eight.
difficult.
Yeah, Elite
Nobody
Eight.
deserved that. Yeah. Okay. Oh, here
Let's
we go.
Let's go.
Garbage
Oh, boy.
self-titled versus Pearl Jam's 10. Garbage versus
Oh.
Pearl Jam.
Oh, that's
sorry.
tough. That's a toughie.
Okay.
Now it
Okay.
feels more personal for me. I don't like that one.
Yeah, me either, Luke. I'm right there with
Luke's
you.
having to feel things and
Don't-
think deeply.
Don't make me choose between two puppies at the puppy store. Give me both.
Oh.
All right. Garbage self-titled. 1, 2, 3.
It hurts me. Whoop. Oh,
Sorry.
I'm sorry. No.
I figured.
Yeah.
I figured this would be close. I figured somebody would step up. but
Pearl
okay.
Jam 10. 1, 2, 3. A great
Any
showing
other
from Garbage.
album,
Yeah.
maybe, but ooh.
First
It's
time I
not
voted for Pearl
garbage
Jam
album.
tonight.
There you go.
Hey, there you
It's not the
go.
best garbage album. There's better garbage albums.
There
Yeah.
are. There are.
Just
Yeah,
go to
there
the late
are.
90s, early 2000s, even No Gods, No Masters.
Yeah.
Any love for absolute garbage in the chat? I like absolute garbage.
Album garbage is okay.
That was their collection of hits, wasn't it? But some.
What was the 20 What was the 2012 one?
That's the one.
That was something.
I don't even remember. I just remember there's some deep cuts on that one that were really good too, like bonus tracks also that worked well. So
Did it have like birdies in the title or something like that? I feel like there was a song or an album.
I don't
that
even
had
know.
Bird. I don't know.
Shine
Crap
Bright
or
was a
something.
song on there that I loved it. So understandable defeat. A great
Yeah.
showing from Garbage.
Oh, Bleed Like Me. That was the garbage record I was thinking of. I'm
Ah.
sorry.
That's a good album.
That's
Yeah,
a good one.
that is.
Yeah. It's no longer alive, but Pearl Jam still is.
Get it?
Van Halen 1 versus Black Sabbath by Black Sabbath.
Oh, I was dreading this one.
Mhm,
Okay.
mhm.
Here come the angry boomers back in the comments, figuring out how to use a YouTube comment section.
I'm gonna be real mad here.
I'm impressed if they've made it this far. into the
Yeah,
chat.
right?
Yeah, well, it's past their bedtime.
Think about this. I need some time.
Go take a moment. That's
I
fine.
get it, Mark. I'm right there with you, dude. But like, oof.
Okay, I got it.
Okay.
I just took a
It's
moment to
gonna
pet.
be brutal
I
either
just took
way.
a moment to pet Ivan, so that's fine.
That's okay. I think I got this one.
Okay.
I think I do too. If I lose, I'm okay with it. So
Yeah, I do, honestly.
Van Halen 1. 1, 2, 3.
I knew
Okay.
this was gonna happen. I knew
Good,
it.
it comes down to a vote.
Yeah.
I knew it. Well, you know what? Good.
Okay.
Good.
I'm
I
fine
will
with
be
that.
on the same side.
Black Sabbath 1, 2, 3.
Throw up that
Ozzy-
poll, Luke.
It's Ozzy versus David Lee Roth with nonsensical screaming. Who can scream the most nonsense?
You know, I will
Howl at the
admit,
moon, bark at the
probably
moon
one of-
louder.
I will admit one of the best unintentional Van Halen things ever is just the raw audio of a David Lee Roth singing, what was it, Anima or whatever,
Yeah.
that got leaked as a meme.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
seen that?
Yeah, I can't even get close to it. Yeah.
I live my life like this. Again, hearing those vocals isolated, it does change you.
Poll
But
is open.
This is actually an interesting case because I actually think both these albums are relatively tight in terms of their construction in different ways.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the one thing I will give Black Sabbath a little bit over Van Halen 1, and this hurts. This hurts. This
Yeah.
feels wrong.
Yeah.
I'm a Van Halen 1 fan. This feels wrong. But Black Sabbath 1 does feel a little smarter.
Ah,
Van Halen
I
wasn't
get
trying
you.
to be
I
smart.
get you.
I at least get that. So, but
Either of them were trying to be smart, but at the same time, the one thing I will say with Van Halen 1 is that there is a dud moment on Van Halen 1 when it comes in the back half of like the deep cuts, whereas I think there's a bit more consistency with Black Sabbath.
and I feel like Black Sabbath is an atmosphere of a lifestyle. Van Halen 1's a party. a fun party that you want to go to again and again, you remember forever, Black Sabbath is the lifestyle that you keep living on. That's your identity of like for some music.
Not gonna lie, I will play that Black Sabbath album at a party and it will kick ass.
Sure.
It's a different vibe of a party.
I was about to say different kind of party, Mark.
It depends, man. Again, it depends on the crowd. It really depends. I can see that album going real harsh.
That's like Andrew WK versus The Cure at a party. Like, come on. Very different vibes.
John, you are exactly right.
That sounds like Riot Fest for one of their lineups one year, oddly enough.
It does. It does.
Yeah, I believe that.
Yeah.
All right. Anyone else want to say anything before I check it?
Nah, let's peel the Band-Aid off, dude. We got to see this.
58%.
Ooh.
Van Halen won.
All right.
Oh.
I get it, though. If anything, this should have been closer.
I get it.
This should have been closer, actually.
I've been on the losing side far too many times tonight, so I'm happy to
you,
see
John.
it swing my way.
You know what? I'm
nice
okay
to
with
get
that
you
because Van Halen 1 is great. I love Van Halen 1, but this is...
Seeing Black Sabbath fall in the Elite Eight is weird for me, but at least it fell to someone that's worthy of the fight.
Yeah.
It fell to a worthy opponent.
It did not fall to Weezer's Blue album. So
Or Korn's debut.
Of course. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Also, no Andrew WK on the submission. That would have been at least an interesting one.
You know what?
Yeah.
Like, I get what should have gone further. Like, if we put this in comparison with Korn's album, it could have made a run.
It would have made a better standing an argument. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? This has got me thinking we should do another debuts bracket sometime.
We probably should.
Interesting. We probably
There's
should.
more.
We have plans for the next multiple years. So
We do.
Yeah.
Block. All right. Block Party, Silent Alarm versus GunsNRoses Appetite for Destruction.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. Oh, all right.
That's what you jerks kick for kicking out Rage.
Luke, you can't hold grudges.
No, I can't hold a grudge on this one. It has nothing to do with Rage. I can't. So.
Okay.
Yeah. Also, not exactly a fair or common matchup.
But then again,
Yeah.
Block,
I think it's actually quite fair.
Block Party, Silent Alarm. 1, 2, 3.
I love Appetite for Destruction, but my love only goes so far. You know?
it's not close.
Appetite for Destruction lost in the Elite Eight.
Oh yeah, baby. They're the Cinderella story.
It went up
Let's
against
go.
Silent Alarm.
Appetite for Destruction. 1, 2, 3.
Luke, I'm sorry, but again,
This is not. I felt more about Rage. This is not the hill to die on. Rage was for me. I just think it's funny because if the boomers were not mad before, oh boy, it's gonna be. There's some depends getting crapped in the comment section right when they see this tomorrow.
Okay,
I can't wait.
Audience, I know. Take your Metamucil. You'll be okay. Then we'll listen to Silent Alarm.
Oh, I just looked at our current. I just looked at our current chat section. Yeah, it's not looking great from a lot of the reactions we're having there. So yeah.
Hey,
I promise.
I
live. It's
listen to Silent
okay.
Alarm.
I love
Alarm
it.
is wonderful.
I
Then
love
go
it because
listen to
there
Within
is.
the City. They go listen to Intimacy.
Yeah.
You will listen to some of the best indie rock of the 2000s.
It is. It really is great. You cannot convince me otherwise how great of a gem I found just because of this video and this stream to finally check out Silent Alarm.
Alarm is so good.
Let's get into some of it, right? Let's talk about a few of the deep cuts here because, yeah, we can talk about singles like Helicopter, but why do we really love this album? Because it is a complete body of work. It slaps left, right, up, down, whatever way, whether it's like Eating Glass or you mentioned This Modern Love. Yes. Yeah, dude. She's Hearing Voices. There's so many great tracks on this record. And obviously you can point to the singles like Banquet and Helicopter, but it's just a full body of work. Not that Appetite for Destruction isn't. It's just, I'll let someone else finish that.
Block Party, Block Party.
Banquet's a great song. Like Banquet's not one of my go-tos.
Yeah.
Crash, go ahead.
Deep cuts over.
I was gonna say, give me a second here because Block Party, Silent Alarm is so good. Even the B-sides and the unreleased tracks from this record are fantastic. I'm trying to remember. I don't know why it's escaping.
Well, the remix album is so good too. Like
the remix album is really good. Little Thoughts. Little Thoughts is
so good.
That's one of my favorite Block Party songs, and it wasn't even on the original release.
I was gonna say I didn't hear that one. So
no, it's part of a re-release. Okay. No, that got
There was like a whole like US UK release, somewhat differential. But
Block Party was so good in its time. Like
it's a shame.
First three albums are pretty immaculate.
If you were there, like it was Like New York post-punk indie rock pissed me off so much because that scene is so snooty. But my God, was this music good?
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with this.
Your homework for tonight, if you have not heard Silent Alarm,
it's worth it.
That is your assignment. There you go.
And it's just like I think it's a more enjoyable listen overall.
There is no sleaze. You don't have to worry about sleaze listening to this album. Guns N' Roses, you always have to make sure you took a shower after, because there's always that little bit of sleaze when you listen to Axl in his prime.
A little bit of that Axl stank.
Yes. Oh, that's exactly what it is too. It's a stank.
Imagine what that bandana smelled like under there. Like, let's be honest.
It smelled a bit of that Axl body spray.
Well, I'm having nightmares.
Little guy, tag in for me. Daddy just got fired.
9 Inch Nails' Pretty Hate Machine versus Weezer's Blue Album.
Here we go.
I will override this entire video if I have to.
Luke, you might have to do it, my brother. Throw that switch if you gotta.
9 Inch Nails, Pretty Hate Machine. 1, 2, 3.
I was up above it, now I'm down in it.
Okay.
Down. You have blue lighting though, Crash. You kind of voted against your lighting there.
Oh, I don't give a shit.
Clearly, he came into that thinking this.
There was plenty of blue on Pretty Hate Machine's cover.
There is, yes. No, Pretty Hate Machine kind of runs away with this. I'm not
I mean, even if I didn't have my own history with this, I would still say, y'all, Pretty Hate Machine is that good. It is that good.
It's that classic.
Yep.
Not that they're both not classics, but
like, okay, let's go single to single. What beats Head Like a Hole?
Oh God. I mean, My Name is Jonas, I would argue, is maybe the strongest contender to go up against it, but still doesn't beat it.
Yeah.
I think about Terrible Lie and stuff like that too. Just the energy and how wildly out of place, not beyond creativity for 89.
Yeah,
dude,
89. Yeah. God, you got to remember, this is still the 80s.
Yeah, people weren't doing stuff like this on the mainstream, so. We're at the final four. And it is not a final four I would have imagined. Not a final four I ever would have predicted. Can I go over?
Neither would I. Holy shit.
Pearl Jam's 10 versus Van Halen 1.
Oh.
Fuck! Oh!
Little guy's learning some new words tonight.
I'm sorry, little guy. Daddy's
what did Daddy say?
Baby.
I need to think about this.
I was going to say, again, that's what you get for kicking out Rage, but this one affects me too, so I don't know what I'm arguing about.
Yeah, dude, you got skin in this game too.
I do. I really do. Oh.
Damn,
right.
Shit.
I got it.
Does everyone have their answer?
Yeah. Just go. Yeah. I'll have mine.
Yep.
Let's go. It.
Before we get to the final four, I just want to remember our permanent answers are nothing. We could change our opinions later in the future, just after this video.
Obviously.
Guys, everyone watching this and on the recap and on the document, be kind.
Don't tether yourself to, my opinion is never going to change on something, because if you have that mindset, then nothing will ever grow on you, or you'll never grow out of something and move on to something else.
Absolutely. A fair point.
Yeah.
Okay, now for the concussive blast. Pearl Jam 10. 1, 2, 3.
Son of a bitch. Yeah. I had a feeling. Okay, I want to say, on my behalf, for me, razor thin. Razor.
No, it's
razor
close
thin.
for me too.
For me,
yeah.
it was literally just nostalgia that pushed this over the edge for me. God.
I think of, there's
like
few good. Go ahead.
Deep cuts thing. It's
Yes.
deep cuts.
Yeah, deep cuts.
Also, Once and Why Go still resonates with me. And I never forget. Yeah. And
Oceans.
and also, no one is going to be as good as Eddie Van Halen. Stone Gossard, Mike McCready, they're still top tier caliber guitarists.
Close. You're close.
Yeah.
Say their names. Come on. It's not just Eddie Vedder, right? This is a whole band.
No, exactly.
I mean, I know
exactly.
I was giving them shit earlier for being like a little overrated, but I had to make my point for those arguments that I was in. Okay. Ain't nobody saying that 10 is not a masterpiece because it is.
I will put Eddie Vedder over David Lee Roth at some moments.
Oh,
yeah.
I put Eddie Vedder over David Lee Roth in many moments, personally.
Yeah, I was about to say. Yeah.
I mean, so much of like David Lee Roth's career was cocaine fueled too. So.
Well,
that's
a very unfair. Axl Rose, most '80s bands.
Even Pearl Jam had their
Pearl Jam too. Like if you know, you know.
Let me rephrase.
All those bands
let me rephrase. So much of David Lee Roth in the studio making Van Halen 1 was cocaine fueled, like singing in the microphone with dust all over him.
I love Emperor.
I want to see
Tiger
that
Star.
footage.
Emperor Tiger Star has a great comment in the chat.
He's had a few.
Throws Frankenstrat out my window in anger. Buddy,
My dude is losing all of these. I've seen him get frustrated.
Man, that is an expensive toss, by the way. I don't know if you should be throwing that one out. Your CD player is one thing.
I hope you tossed it onto a trampoline of foam.
This is
a mattress. It is very close. It's unfair. Yeah, this is a proper Final Four matchup. Totally.
Yeah. And entirely this is benefited by all of us being of the demographic that actually were alive when 10 came out.
Yes.
Yeah,
correct.
that's also definitely part
We
of
were
it.
all young, but we still remember it. And also, even with everything else going on, I'm a grunge fan through and through, so I have more bias. I admit that for me. Van Halen 1 is still still such a mastercraft of how to of attitude and flair and swagger, you know.
It's real close.
Yeah. You don't forget your first time hearing something like Jeremy, though, you know?
Yeah.
No.
Bingo. Exactly.
And
not that I forgot my first Van Halen listen.
The jam session of Alive. Yeah.
I will do so many more Pearl Jam 10 tracks at karaoke. And I've got
yeah.
There.
That's fair. Block Party Silent Alarm versus 9 Inch Nails Pretty Hate Machine.
Oh, good God.
Shit.
Oh, no.
Let's see you disrespect Trent Reznor now, you jerks.
Right?
Yeah.
This is actually a really good one. I'm not going to lie.
It is. I'm not going to lie. I'm
this is great. No, this is great. So this whole night has worked out much better than I thought it would. I was worried going in.
Yeah,
see,
nobody
told you, Luke.
From Roughhouse.
I believe I have my vote.
I do too.
I got you.
I don't yet. I need to think.
Take a second.
Hey, fair. 100% fair, Mark. Holy shit.
I would also like to say we'll go through a lightning round of as many super chats as we can because we know we've run so late. Will you guys be willing to stay on a little bit longer for that?
Oh yeah, we can.
Thank
do that.
you.
We can
Thank
do that.
Apologies, but I'd say this was worth it. This was
Yes, it was.
a
lot of fun.
Okay, I've got my choice.
Okay, it was worth it until you kicked out Rage. I'm still bitter, but that's okay. I've got a choice.
You're going to hold that against us for years.
Gretchen's going to hear a lot of man baby complaining tonight. So
we love you, Gretchen.
Thumbs up for Gretchen.
Thumbs up and hit the like button for Gretchen. Thank you.
So definitely bring your headphones to bed tonight.
She has her headset on. Yeah, honey. That was such a bummer.
Pearl Jam. Pearl Jam. Yeah, Rage Against the Machine for sure.
All right.
All right. You know what I want.
Block Party. Silent Alarm. 1, 2, 3.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
Whoa.
Wow. I'm shocked, but pleasantly surprised.
Let's go.
See, okay, I'll put it in one word or one phrase, basically. If it were any other night,
I've decided to shut down the stream. That's it's a black page right now. So everyone just go home. I'm done with everything. I'm gonna take a vacation and just think about life. Not even work on YouTube or anything. Just take a little bit of a vacation and not talk to anyone either. So
we threw all these props to Gretchen and said we love you so much, and then we pissed off her husband so royally. Oh,
God.
oh, poor Luke. You can't catch a break, my dude. I'm so sorry.
Go ahead.
Poor buddy.
I'll
Hey,
cram this into the brackets.
yeah. See, listen, here's the thing. People are going to think we're trolling. We're absolutely not.
No, I did not take it as trolling either. I know it's not.
No.
I know it's not.
Not one iota am I.
Not
I am
at
deathly,
all.
When it comes to Silent Alarm, I am deathly serious, folks.
Yeah. And I fucking love Pretty Hate Machine.
So do
Let
I.
the record show. Let the record show. But Silent Alarm is that bitch.
Folks, it's that good. It's that good, okay? We've been talking it up all night. It is genuinely that good.
It really is great. I cannot argue how great it is.
And that's the frustrating thing, because you're dealing with an album that is arguably transcendent in terms of introducing that brand of industrial rock and metal into the scene, with an album that is arguably a transcendent moment of that post-punk revival in that scene.
Yeah.
And arguably they're both a different moment of transcendence in a different time. And arguably, I would say Nine Inch Nails has the advantage because they had a longevity, but also the fact that they had a better single. I think Head Like a Hole is better than anything on Silent Alarm. I will say that.
Totally
Also,
fair.
I think Terrible Love, I think it is like
Terrible lie.
Terrible lie.
Yeah. Terrible Lie is also better, but I also think that Silent Alarm is just in a different tier. Like, it's the sort of thing that you're like, well, shit, I'm angry that it's as good as it is.
Right?
Yeah.
No, that's 100% fair. Again, it's like, and again, Nine Inch Nails would go on to do even better than Pretty Hate.
Exactly.
This is just the beginning.
I'm isolating the debut albums together, and I do get that for Nine Inch Nails. And as much as I love Pretty Hate Machine,
if this was a sophomore discussion, I would love to see how far Downward Spiral goes. You know,
Downward Spiral clears so much of this.
Yeah.
Downward Spiral.
I would definitely vote that over.
It's not even a competition.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah,
okay,
differently.
Okay,
we're playing with the teams we got.
I would just like to point out someone made a little comment that made me feel a little better. Rox told me about Slow Dive, so you better not be kidding that Block Party is going to transform my life. This album, Silent Alarm.
I was about to say, maybe not like, don't start with hymns
yes.
or anything.
But Silent Alarm may transform your life. It actually is one of those legit ass great albums.
And A Weekend in the City, back to back.
Yeah, same. I'm with John on that. They are both very good. Yeah.
I think Intimacy is worth the challenge. It is not as great as either of them, but
but it's still great.
Yeah,
Zephyr on that album is so good.
Yeah,
it's just a vibe. It's a sexy record.
It is. But that's the other thing. That's the weird thing. There's a different kind of sexiness between Nine Inch Nails and Block Party.
Yeah.
There is a sexiness to both of them, but one of them has money and one of them doesn't.
I see Luke is showing us this. That's Trent.
Oh, he's singing us happy birthday. Oh.
I won an Academy Award, a Grammy, a Tony, an Emmy.
Good thing award shows don't mean shit.
But I
you should know
accept
that better than
what
anyone.
you guys are saying, so thank you.
I'm sorry that The Fragile was garbage. Like,
no.
That I won't stand for. That I'm not with.
I'm
not with. Okay.
Oh no.
Yeah,
I will break out the triple LP.
I hope your Tim Hortons is bitter and someone peed in it.
I don't buy Tim
You want Tim Hortons? Yeah, there you go.
You know, it's now owned by a Brazilian company, and their quality has gone to absolute.
I've heard someone else complain about it too.
When I had Tim Hortons here when I visited Toronto,
it's not good.
Yeah, I would believe someone pissed in my coffee there. It was pretty lousy.
Well, they got shut down around St. Louis and Southern Illinois, Missouri too. They all went out. So,
oh wow.
Just a second, one more thing before we go to our final matchup.
Oh boy.
Dun, 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 dun.
Oh, this final matchup too. Oh my god.
Yeah, I know.
You all can go screw yourself. I'm never going to tour again because of this stream.
Yes. See, I might have believed you had this stream taken place about 2 months ago.
No, I was thinking about it again, and now this just sealed the deal.
I was going to come back, but I will turn this car around.
All right. The finals. You know what?
Yeah, we
The
gotta do
randomizer did its job.
this. It sure did. Holy shit.
This
Pearl-
could have gone a million different ways
It
depending on
could've.
the matchup. So
Like 32 exponential. You have no idea how many calculations that is. Gretchen,
lot.
would you stop telling people I talk in my sleep? It's adorable, but still, you're telling my business now. Jeez.
Oh, man.
I talk.
was he rapping
Oh,
along the Rage lyrics?
No.
Or?
I talk a
Gretchen-
lot in my sleep. So, and last night apparently was wild. So,
Gretchen, please get tonight on video. And
oh,
share
she's
it with
taken notes before on her phone. So,
This honestly, Gretchen, this sounds like an interesting video you could do for your channel.
a vlog, a sleepy time vlog. Here's my husband. All
Husband
right.
trying to decode my husband's secret thoughts in his
Yes.
dreams.
All right. Pearl Jam 10 versus Block Party Silent Alarm.
Shit.
Oh shit.
Shit. No, right? Shit. Oh.
I know what this is. This
I'm
falls
good.
up pretty quick for me.
Pearl Jam.
Oh.
Oh, do we have an answer? Okay.
Yeah.
Pearl
Yeah.
Jam 10. 1, 2, 3.
This hurts. But
I get it.
You know what, John? I respect the hell out of you right now, man. I do. But yeah.
Silent Alarm. 1, 2, 3.
You know what? Somebody deserved to vote for it. Yes, absolutely. It's not 10 though. I'm sorry. I love Silent Alarm. I love it to tears. I love it to death. I think it will probably, once more time has gone on it, it will go down with that kind of legacy for what it's done.
In this selection, it says a lot.
Yeah. I mean, again, right? The fact I would not have thought Block. I thought Block Party.
I would not have thought it'd go that far either.
Like maybe the Sweet 16. I figured
It
maybe
was
we
our-
get lucky and it hit the 8. I am amazed.
Yeah.
It was our
And
final-
it did not have
I'm
an easy
happy with
path.
it.
It did not have an easy
Yeah.
path,
No.
so you can't say that either.
No.
Neither did Pearl
No.
Jam, to be fair, but still, 10. I can't stress enough how iconic 10 is for Pearl Jam as a band, for grunge as a genre, for everything that we've already said many times before. Block Party is still awesome with Silent Alarm. It made a bigger fan out of me of Block Party than I ever thought I would be. And it's only been a very limited time.
In all due honesty, you could probably put this up to a vote, and it will probably be a closer vote in your comment section than you would expect.
You know what? For shits and giggles, Luke, do you want to?
I'll do a poll. I'll do the poll right now.
Oh, yeah,
That's appropriate. There you
Yeah.
go.
Very yes, yeah.
Hang on.
Hell yeah, John.
We
Absolutely.
had the best times. We had the best of times. We had the worst of times, but it's okay.
I have to do something too, which is perfect timing, John, for this as well. Poll is
Uh-oh.
open.
Yeah.
Oh, did he opened the poll? Oh.
Oh.
This little boy right here, before I ever met my wife, was named after Pearl Jam.
Oh, is that why? I can't believe I never made that connection. That's why she's named
Oh.
Pearl. Oh.
It's a he,
Oh,
but
y'all
yes.
were just-
Or he's named Pearl. Oh,
I thought he was just really into oysters or something.
Don't jump from that high, silly.
Aw.
He's like, what the heck, Dad? What are you doing? I don't want to be up here. It's late.
Mm.
Pearl wanted to make an appearance. Ivan's
That's
been in the
adorable.
background ever since. Pearl, you did it, buddy. You won.
Yay, Pearl.
To be fair, 10 is a fantastic album. I'm
It is.
entirely okay with that happening.
Yes.
And to be fair, like 10 going as Silent Alarm is
It's
kind of ridiculous.
That's a Cinderella.
Yeah.
That's a Cinderella story for the madness, isn't it?
And I
Absolutely.
stand by my vote.
No, that's fine. No, I get
I
it.
respect
Right,
that.
yeah,
I respect
absolutely.
the hell out of that. Yeah. Oh. But again,
I just,
oh.
at the end of the day, guys in the chat, don't take it too
Don't,
seriously.
guys. This was meant to be
Yes.
fun.
This is
Right.
this is all
Also-
fun games, y'all. That's
Also,
right.
yeah,
Yeah.
and also
We
just
can
to,
love all of them.
yeah,
you
and
know?
we do for a lot of these. We do love, but like Gretchen just said, when Pearl and his brother Chester were a boy in the litter, their brothers were young boys. Pearl is so fluffy they couldn't tell if he was a boy or a girl at the time.
I saw that in the chat. That's
Oh,
adorable.
that's the floof.
That's so cute.
He's a light cat. He's full grown. He's pretty light though. He just looks enormous because it's 90% hair and fur.
Oof.
Yep.
So
Mm.
I feel a worthy winner won,
Yeah.
and I want to zoom out.
You know, Yeah, we got two very worthy contestants. This was not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was very little BS to be. Well, okay, I take that back. There was some, in respect for you, there was some BS there.
There was some BS.
But
along the way.
very we
Not
got some,
as much, and honestly, like I can see this entirely changing if we did like a sophomore album.
100%.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And that gets weird and fascinating very quickly.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Sophomore albums can be literally make or break, of course, but it's just so interesting to see if the band is going to evolve or if they're going to keep trying to repeat the one trick that they pulled off so well on the first album.
Well, it's the sort of thing where I imagine Linkin Park's Meteora gets out of the second round.
Yeah, exactly.
Ride the Lightning. Think about that.
Elevated.
Ride the Lightning, Francis the Mute. Yeah.
Yeah, Ride Lightning. Yeah, Jesus Christ. Oh my God.
Favorite worst nightmare, Arctic Monkeys. Oh wait,
Francis the Mute.
Down.
That's a big one for me. So
the Mutes, that'd be a big one.
What's Muse's sophomore album?
Origin of Symmetry.
Origin of Symmetry.
Yeah, that's a huge one.
Yeah, that's really
we
good.
might have to do a sophomore bracket sooner than later. We may not have to be able to wait a full year for that.
No,
I'd be down for that.
I'm down.
I'd be down.
I'm down.
You have a winner. You have a winner there, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So give us 1 minute to, now that we have this on the document, I'll have this bracket with all the votes and stuff along with the super chats. Don't think they're gone. They're not. We're going to get through some right now. Do you guys need a minute to take a break or?
Oh, my camera just died, so let me switch out the battery.
Take a minute. This is great. Take a minute. I'm going to go to the bathroom myself and get this ready. Thank you, guys. Thank you all for hanging out with us. This has been way more fun and engaging than I thought it would be. It's bonkers, but it's worth it. And I think that's kind of the whole point. Okay. Where is... Everything's named differently. There we go. Okay. So that's good. That's good. That's good. We'll wait for John. He's fixing his thing. Yeah. Little guy. What does Little Guy feel about Pearl Jam winning?
Little Guy was asleep for most of the bracket, actually.
That's fair.
So
that's fair.
Thankfully, he was asleep when I had that little cursing fit earlier. So, yeah, you didn't hear that, right? You didn't hear that.
He's a good sleeper.
Yeah, the good job.
He's a good sleeper. He's a good. Yeah.
I got the bracket image saved. Let me go.
You know, he probably needs a walkie, so I'm gonna head right out real quick. I will be right back.
Take a minute because Mark's gone on too. John, let me go here. Analytics. I'm just gonna copy all the super chats now. Make sure I don't miss anything. John, while we're doing this, what do you have coming up?
This Sunday, I have a really, really special video dropping. Okay. We've been working on it for a little bit. It's for the 300th episode of 7 on Sunday, my countdown show that I have. And it's going to be my dad, bringing on my dad, who unfortunately he's battling Parkinson's disease. Okay. And it's kind of a video I wanted to do to introduce him to some of my favorite music of all time before it gets to the point where he's not able.
It's cool that you can record. It's cool that you can record it with him too. That way, that's awesome.
Yeah, and it turned out it went way better than I expected. I had him. I picked out 2 songs from every decade, from the 2020s all the way back to the 60s, and had him react. And guess what decades they came out in? So it's going to be fun, wholesome, all that good stuff. So check that out. That'll be out on Sunday.
Awesome. That's very cool. I'll check that out too. I'll just make sure to share it out when I see it, so that when I know there's a link and everything. Yeah, I will. Yeah, for sure.
We're excited for it. We're excited, and I've got. I'm going to be re-ranking Green Day's albums very soon, so look forward to that. Now that their new album's out.
Very cool. So while we're waiting for Crash, I'm going to do something real quick, and I need to go back to. This is perfect timing. Just while we wait for Crash, go back to the stream, the visualizer. John and Mark already saw this. I want chat's opinion too. Why are you showing that? Oh, I have a new merch design. And you're probably wondering, well, what is it of? Like, what's this logo? So I need to click on it, see how well I can zoom in on it. If not, I'll zoom in on a photo. That's not going to let me here. So what you see on screen right now is my new merch logo and design. This was made by a graphic artist over a week. And you can't see it well on this screen. I have an image I can show and things like that. Actually, let me try to do it this way.
Yeah.
So they saw the image already. Let me pull it up. I apologize, guys. I thought it was going to work well, but OBS is being OBS again. Dun, 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 dun.
Oh, yeah.
Mark, what do you have coming up?
Not really a lot at the moment. I've got some plans for later in the month, but we'll see where that goes.
Gotcha. Skull.
I can see it pretty well.
I just got the full thing. So this is the new graphic. It'll be black in the background. It's a transparent PNG. If you zoom in, it's just dozens of rock and metal and alternative subgenres. And that'll be the background for the logo. So
sick.
I have the fourth wall page already made up. So if you want to check that out, it's greatly appreciated. And so
sick design too,
it took over a week, and I feel it was worth it.
Oh yeah, dude.
So
absolutely.
So I already ordered a bunch of merch myself, just like at cost, to make sure everything comes out okay. I've heard nothing but good things about Fourth Wall, way better than Spring.
Same here.
I'm hoping this works out well. Let me pull this up. So I'll put the link in chat right now. Reason I'm doing it right now is so that way you guys that are watching live get first dibs. The first 20 people to order anything off this page and use the promo code SKULL, because it's Skull stuff, get 20% off. The first 20 people, any order. So
hell yeah.
So I just want to make sure you guys knew about that too. As a thank you for watching live. That's a cool logo. Neato. That is sick. I want that t-shirt. That's amazing. So yeah, it's literally dozens and dozens of like subgenres. It's not a unique one all the way through. They do loop, but it's just tons of subgenres and genres and things like that. We got t-shirts, regular shirts, tank tops, coffee mug, which actually does look really good. Bandana, women's tees, men's tees, hoodies, stickers, everything I can chill, buttons, a tote bag, and the original rock sticker.
Nice. The classic.
Oh, yeah.
So, again, promo code SKULL. So first 20 people to order anything with the promo code, 20% off. So, thank you guys for watching live. It's now time that we go through the super chats. We'll do a decent amount. We can't do them all. It's already way past what we would normally do anyway. Oops. But, bam.
Hey, why don't we just do a simple thumbs up, thumbs down?
We'll have to do
as we can.
We'll have to do a quick thumbs up, thumbs down, and we can talk more of the document if we want. Sure, write our thoughts. So
vent the thoughts out there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Here we go. Dun, 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 dun. Let me pull this up. Thank you guys again. Very awesome to see all of you here. Why aren't you going? Okay, there we go. From Seth Baylor, Blink-182's California versus Weezer's Black Album.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah. Was this the same year?
No.
No.
Okay.
California
3 years
came out a little later.
So they were a little bit
earlier. Black Album was 2019.
Yeah,
California
that's right. I was in St. Louis. I was St. Louis with Black Album. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got an answer.
Yeah. Blink-182 California. 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
there
the
was
Black
some
album's pretty trash.
It's pretty weird and
say what
wonky
and say what you want about the Matt Skiba era of Blink. There are still some jams on that album.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So
yeah.
Black Album didn't piss me off as much. Or the Black Album pissed me off more than
yeah.
I got you.
I was about to say.
Yeah, it really did. Sorry.
From Stephen Paulus, Bring Me the Horizon album versus album Sempiternal versus Posthuman Survival Horror.
Oh.
Mm.
Well,
I at least like it that it's
an album.
Yeah, I at least like the matchup because it is something different that we haven't done before.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Okay. I have an answer. Sempiternal. 1, 2, 3.
Nothing against
Yeah,
Survival
I really dug
love
Posthuman.
Survival.
Yeah, I did too. So I think
Sempiternal.
Yeah, Sempiternal has the big banger hits that define the band. So
Yeah.
Yep.
that was a good one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun. Actually, since this was the 33rd entry, even though it's not really fair to be entered, The Strokes is This It's, which I know we've done before, but I will do this quickly. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, I mean, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on now. Yeah.
Come on.
If that had been in the,
It would have gone farther than a lot of others. So
I would have
yeah.
I would have made sure that went as far as possible.
It would have gone as far as Rage. Yeah, that's right. I'll keep bringing it up.
Oh.
From Cinematic Sterling. Okay. Nirvana's About a Girl, the audio or the studio version of About a Girl on Bleach, or MTV Unplugged version of About a Girl. I like it.
Yeah, I get it too. Yeah, and to be fair, like the MTV version is a iconic performance all around. So
yeah.
I get it.
Bleach studio version. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I'm with you,
Interesting.
Mark, on that. Yeah.
And MTV Unplugged. 1, 2, 3.
I just think it works better as an
It's
acoustic song.
it hit me harder as the acoustic
my
song, me
favorite.
personally.
Yeah.
So
It's close.
Yeah.
It's close
Yes.
for sure. I love both versions.
from Ellie Eat, Job for a Cowboy. Just released a new album after 10 years.
Yeah, God, I need to get that. I haven't heard that one yet.
Moon Healer.
Yeah, gonna have to bow out on that one, unfortunately.
That's fine.
So,
Okay, Crash and I then.
Yeah,
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, Job for a Cow. They
Yeah.
go pretty hard. I
They
like
do.
them. They go super hard.
New album is great. Even I'm not super huge on death metal, deathcore, technical death. It's so well played though. It's so good with the guitar and bass, like
Oh, yeah.
skilled. You're kind of like sitting there going, "This is impressive." So yeah,
They always had chops. They always had chops. Happy
All
to
right.
hear that hasn't changed.
yeah. Also from Ellie Eats, Warrant's Cherry Pie versus Aerosmith's Pink. Goodness.
Oh my.
Good Lord. Oh, he went for it, didn't he? Oh,
Yep.
woof.
Oh.
Oh, I
Boy.
got my answer.
I feel
Shit.
gross.
Two
I love
vaguely
innuendo.
two vaguely disgusting songs. Okay, well, Cherry Pie. 1, 2, 3.
I hate to say
I
it,
guess,
but
yeah. Pink
Yeah,
is Pink is really bad, guys. It's
Pink
really
really
bad.
Yeah, it's
It really
it's
is.
really.
I
At
didn't
least
think I
Cherry
holding my
Pie
thumb
has-
up in this stream for Cherry Pie. Let's be honest, but I did.
Yeah,
you
it-
got me to give a thumbs up to Cherry Pie. That's saying something. I hate that fucking song.
Yeah, it takes
Dirty,
a,
rotten filth is stinking.
Yeah. It's like it's that Aerosmith tour that kept getting canceled because of Steven Tyler's vocals. If he has to sing Pink, I don't want him to have to do the tour again.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's
Ugh. Thank you though. From Riley Hart, Blink-182 song versus song. I Miss You versus One More Time.
Mm,
okay.
that's tough.
I got my answer.
I just, yeah.
I Miss You. 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
to be fair,
This is definitive of a Blink in a slightly more mature way, and I do like that.
And I think that One More Time is definitive of Blink in a more mature light,
Sure,
as- to be
but
fair.
when I think of Blink, when I think of I Miss You, I just think that's
yeah,
peak
that's
Blink
like
in a good
almost
way.
there's-
Yeah.
Like, that's one of their iconic songs versus something that's very, very new. I think
Yes.
they're recently,
Yeah.
like years into that.
yeah. That's I was tempted to vote, but recency bias exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From Brandon Barenfeld, Green Day, album versus album. Revolution Radio versus Saviors.
I got one.
I do
Yeah.
too.
I do too, yeah. Revolution Radio. 1, 2, 3.
Hot take, but I didn't care for Saviors that
Okay.
much. Okay.
Saviors. 1, 2, 3. I didn't care much for Revolution Radio. That's my thing.
That's also fair.
I love both.
There.
Yeah.
Saviors had fun stuff on it. I was fine with Saviors. Totally fine.
Saviors is great.
It worked for what it was. Yeah. I like it
Yeah.
more than most do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought they
we can
killed
all
it.
agree it's better than both of them are better than Father of All.
Oh
that-
God, yeah.
Obviously, yes.
Okay. There we go.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that's like bottom
There we go.
tier.
Yeah.
Green Day.
From Mosh Pit Messiah, Death Album 4 from Death Clock, the final album that came out last year.
Clock, I have to bow out because I haven't heard it. I'm
So do I.
sorry.
Okay, it's
Yeah.
only me? Okay, that's fine. 1,
Oh.
2, 3. It's so much fun. It's
Yeah.
so much fun. It's so good. So
I'm kicking myself because I meant to get around to it, but I
it's
just-
really high up there. Also, the final movie, like the finale of Metalocalypse that came
Yeah.
out with it, a lot of fun too. A proper closing for everything.
okay.
I
Good.
really
Fun.
need to get back into Metalocalypse. I've just not been on.
You don't even have.
on-
I get that. The movie's so fun too. It's really well done. Like you're kind of sitting there, the stupid funny moments, but also some of the animation and like the serious moments. Like This is way more serious than anything like this should be. It's Death Clock. So.
Well, that makes sense to me, but at the same time, I'm just like far behind on it. So
No, I get it. I get it. From Ghost Raptor. Okay. Thoughts on the new Judas Priest singles, if you've heard them, because they got the new album Invincible Shield coming out soon.
Haven't heard them.
Gotcha.
I've only heard the first one.
Okay.
But
You want to just based on that, then the first single.
let's do that. Yeah,
One,
we can do that.
2, 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
The singles are fun. Judas Priest is still delivering heavy. You know, they're going on tour again this year. They're doing festivals. He and Rob Halford can still outperform at 70. Then a lot of people can't. It's 25.
Like them and them and Iron
They're-
Maiden are two bands that have got some old dudes, but they're killing it.
I still need to see Iron Maiden. That's another band I've never seen live, and I've always wanted to.
Oh yeah.
That's a little bit more difficult, but I'll figure something out. Sorry. There we go. From MDJ7, Mumford and Sons versus Noah Kahan.
Oh. Well, I've heard a lot more from one than the other.
I've heard of
more of both than I would like.
Yeah, I was gonna say I've heard more from one that I'd never wanted to hear in the first place. So
that was not your fault, but mine.
Jail.
It's funny because the Australian band with the female singer that's escaping my name do a better song of the cover of that than the actual song.
Man?
Yeah.
Tonight
Alive. There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Mumford and Sons.
That's a great cover.
It is Mumford and Sons. 1, 2, 3.
Wow. Okay.
I always thought they were beyond overrated and just benefited from their time frame.
They were way too big for the amount of skill.
Noah Kahan, 1, 2, 3. And I'm fairly limited. I'm not either. Yeah.
This is
But,
not an endorsement.
Yeah.
No.
Right.
Yeah, let's all put that in our bio. This is not a Noah Kahan endorsement.
No.
I had to put Dial Drunk as my favorite hit song of 2023, and I stand by that. It still feels gross.
There we go. Okay, this is a sweet one. From Kaylee Riley, not fully on topic, but I am blind and really wish I knew what all the animals look like. If you could please tell me. Thank you. Please describe Little Guy, if you would.
Little Guy is a black tuxedo Teddy Roosevelt Terrier, which basically means he looks a lot like oh, you're blind. I apologize.
Colors.
He is very small. He is very tiny. He has very stubby little legs. He looks like a stuffed animal come to life, basically.
He does.
Aww.
Like a stuffed toy
He's so cute.
that actually lives and breathes and barks and poops all over my carpet. He's wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Not that last part.
And Pearl, who I held up earlier, he is a full-size 7-year-old domestic longhair, which means he has very long feathery fur, and he has a solid color, and he is a very sweet cat. He only meows when he wants attention for food. Every other time, he'll paw for pets. So, there we go. I just wanted to do that one. From Heavy Metal Joker, Killswitch End of Heartache versus As Daylight Dies.
Ooh.
Killswitch versus Killswitch.
Yeah.
I prefer because I don't
tough,
remember I don't know enough of the difference. So
Okay.
That's fine.
Fair.
The End of Heartache. 1, 2, 3. Fair enough.
This hurts.
As
Yeah,
Daylight
dude,
Dies.
that hurt.
Yeah, this is
1,
close.
2, 3. It was close for me too, but I edged towards
yeah.
1. So
I heard As Daylight Dies first.
Yeah.
And that's just...
I just think As Daylight Dies has more bangers on it.
My Curse is on that album, right?
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
yeah. I was
Fair
making
enough.
sure I had the right one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. If my lovely wife is listening, this one will be for you too. Album versus album. Fleetwood Mac. Self-titled versus Rumors.
Oh, that's not fair.
It's not, but it's a good point to make. She is the Fleetwood
Self-titled
Mac.
versus Tusk would be interesting.
Sure.
Yeah, no kidding.
Self-titled. 1, 2, 3. You're not beating Rumors.
No disrespect. Yeah,
Nope,
no disrespect.
no way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Self-titled is great. It's just not perfect.
I mean, how many times have we said on here, rumors is rumors?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know? Thank God that wasn't a debut.
Yeah.
Oh.
Ugh.
Oh
imagine.
God, that would have. Yeah,
that
would have been
would
it.
have been no contest.
Yeah, that would have
No
been
contest.
that would have blown a lot away. So
Speaking of which debuts, why did we not have Meatloaf's Bat Out of Hell?
another
nobody
good
sent
one.
it.
No one sent it. Led Zeppelin 1 was another one. People saying, why isn't this on here? It wasn't sent in.
Y'all.
All right, I need to make sure I
Remember-
seed this with better debuts next time. So.
Debuts
Maybe we'll
part
slide in
2.
a few of our own
Yeah.
picks.
That's
I
fair
will make
too.
sure I have my specific accounts. I clearly have some level of plausible deniability to associate with.
From Spectrum Chulse. Huh. Okay.
Okay.
From Stephen Paulus
relation.
again. Yeah. Under Oath album versus album. Lost in the Sound of Separation versus Disambiguation. I have to bow out. I am not
I
familiar.
have to bow out too. I'm not familiar.
enough.
Those
It's
are
been so
later
long.
records, I think,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
No, they're
Tell me-
not. They're not.
What was it? Disambiguation, and what was the other one?
Lost in the Sound of Separation.
I just haven't heard that one in so long.
Yeah.
Mm.
I have to bow
I
out too.
just-
Sorry about that. I like Under Oath. So,
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
been a while.
okay.
Same.
From Elite, The Last Dinner Party.
Ooh,
I have to
Oh,
bow
boy.
out.
I have to bow out too.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm in.
I am.
Okay. Last Dinner
Mark.
Party. 1, 2, 3.
And
A tentative thumbs up, is that what it is?
Yep.
Okay, tentative and a big thumbs up. Go ahead.
This is my tentative album of the year. Like,
Wow.
holy shit, this album rules so hard, and I have been listening to it like nonstop.
Okay.
I get it. I totally do. I wish I was more engaged with this album than I am.
I feel you.
Like it's one of those albums that I hear their influences so strongly that it can't quite overpower what they deliver themselves. It's one of those things I don't think the writing's quite. It feels like a debut to me. Like honestly, it feels like the writing's not quite there, the production's not quite there. Like they're the sort of band that I think their next album is going to be completely amazing. As of right now, I'm not all the way in yet.
Who would you recommend it to?
Who would I recommend it to? People
Yeah. Because I'm
who
completely unfamiliar. So,
if you like music with a theatric flair, it
Okay.
feels like, but not like, I don't know. Some people say that about AJR, so I realize how that could go off the rails. If you like something that has bombast to it, but is
Okay.
more grounded, I guess, in some lyrical aspects. And also, I'm a huge fan of the person that produced the record, James Ford, who's done like Florence and the Machine, Arctic Monkeys, a bunch of other stuff. So
fair enough.
Yeah, I would say that if you were in a Florence and the Machine, you will like this.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like if you're actually I debate
I
that
am.
a little. I think Florence is better than this, but that's me. I will also say that if you're a fan of, honestly, there's a certain subset of like indie pop that I think could fit very well into this. Like if you like Muna, you might like this. If you like Boygenius, you would probably like this. Like
yeah,
there's a lot of crossover grounds. I'm not guaranteeing it, but I am saying there is common ground. I think the theatricality is there. I don't think the writing is there. That's a me thing. I know I'm I'm too nitpicky about this band. I know I am already.
Fair enough. Good way to
That's
describe too. There you go. From Noxuser, Built to Spill.
hell yeah,
Okay.
Everybody have one?
yeah.
1, 2, 3.
I mean, I'm not the most familiar, but I like what I've heard.
I like what I've heard too.
Yeah, a shout out to my viewers that introduced me to them. I've really gotten into some of their albums.
From Seth Baylor, Blink 182's California versus, I already did that with the Weezer for Black album. Yeah,
Oh,
that
yeah.
popped up again.
Yeah, we
Sorry.
did that one.
From Riley Hart. Okay. This is a better, interesting matchup. The most recent albums, Green Day Saviors versus Blink 182's One More Time.
Damn.
Okay.
Everybody got one?
Yeah.
Green Day Saviors. 1, 2, 3. One more time. Blink 182. 1, 2, 3.
And I don't like despise Saviors or anything. I just felt like it was kind of a nothing burger. I
Okay.
don't know.
One more. I just felt One More Time was such a weird, really good songs. What the heck was that? There was a combination of those.
Yeah,
so
I agree. No, I agree. I'm not necessarily the hugest fan of that record either, but it was more interesting. I'd say.
I'm pretty big on both of them, but yeah, I get what you're coming from with the up and down.
In all fairness, I might agree with the up and down when it comes to Saviors a little bit because, like, closing track of Saviors is bad.
Oh, it's trash.
Nah,
it's
good. It's good.
You're
Fancy Sauce is great.
It's not.
Welcome to your opinion. You're welcome to it.
I'll take Fancy Sauce over Edging. So
okay, fair.
I'll take them both.
But at the same time, like the bad elements on Saviors, pull it away from being like a higher tier Green Day album that I think they could have peaked alongside their 90s work, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Okay, fair enough. From Blaze Cyan Warrior, band versus band, Mumford & Sons versus the Black Keys.
What is it with Mumford?
Early 2010s nostalgia for Mumford & Sons versus the Black Keys. Yeah.
Man. I do have an opinion on this.
Yeah.
So do I.
Yeah. Yep. Mumford & Sons. 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
I'm happy to see that. I fucking hate Mumford & Sons. I hate Mumford & Sons.
You were talking about feeling vindicated earlier, Crash. I think we're all
this is vindicating too. Fuck Mumford & Sons.
The Black Keys. 1, 2, 3.
I'm not a big fan of the Black Keys.
I'm not either.
I would take them over Mumford & Sons all day.
Any day of the week.
I've shot both of them live as a photographer. You would think the Black Keys would not be as engaging. They're way more engaging than Mumford & Sons by a long shot.
I get that.
Oh god.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine going to see, like, I remember Mark and I reviewed the Delta album together. Imagine going to see that live, Mark. How do you think that's going to translate?
Here's the thing with the Black Keys that I actually kind of like. Is that they kind of had to build themselves up a live show because the songs are otherwise so not worth mentioning that you kind of have to actually back up a certain amount with the Black Keys, like through performance that actually stands up by it. Like I remember when you and I did that review of Mumford & Sons, and there's nothing to it.
No, it's a snooze, man. It's just more than a snooze. It's just almost a blank slate of ugh.
It infuriates me a little bit because Mumford & Sons has the alchemical formula to make good stuff. And I see some of that with Noah Kahan, but Noah Kahan also has that Vermont side of him that makes me want to punch him in the face. Like repeatedly, like brutally. I want to see him bloodied in a ditch.
The Burlington hipster-esque side.
If this happens, Mark, you better watch yourself. They're going to be coming for you.
I'm sorry, Luke, this may impact your stream on some level. I don't want this to wind up flagged, but I also don't want this guy to have a good life. Like,
I'll be honest, I've said worse on my channel, so you're probably fine.
Mark, tell us how you really feel, bud.
Noah Kahan pisses me off so much because he's got the clout to platform better artists and then not get out of the fucking way.
Yeah.
Huh.
He has songs with Casey Musgraves and Hozier.
That's the one I heard, yeah.
And he's got the bigger cosign. He has a song with Lizzie McAlpine where he's got the bigger cosign than her, and that infuriates me.
She's way better than Noah. Way better.
Well, yeah.
Way better. Lizzie McAlpine runs laps around that man.
Hozier runs laps around him.
Oh, he runs triathlons around that man.
But Noah is headlining Bonnaroo and another festival in the UK. He's so massive, so fast. So fast. I'm asking why.
He really came out of nowhere.
This in 2022. Yeah. This guy was a star. I knew Noah Kahan was a star. Like, he has that. He's got good enough hooks. He's got stage presence. I can look at him like, well, shit, I don't like you, but I get why you work.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, like, And he has way better taste than he has any right to, because like his opening act on tour was Rustin Kelly.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, so he's pulling indie cards.
Yeah. So he knows what he's doing too. And I'm like,
Smart businessman.
okay.
Yeah, he is.
And
Oh,
It's
he
the sort of
pulled-
thing where I'm like, I kind of hate you, but fuck you. Like, it's
And he's re-released Stick Season, what, 3 times at this point?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't
come
know
on,
that.
man.
Huh.
Milking it.
From Elite, Nick Cave's Skeleton Tree versus David Bowie's Black Star, which if I'm correct was his final album.
Final album, yeah.
Not fair, but okay.
Yeah, it's a sentimental advantage on that one.
Yeah.
Everyone have an
Okay.
opinion?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have
Okay.
one, but I'm not sure it's right.
Same.
Skeleton Tree. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Black
I'll be the
Star,
odd man out.
1,
Okay.
2, 3.
I
Again,
feel bad about bashing anybody win this case because like it's so incredibly like emotional in both cases.
It is.
Yeah.
It's.
I was very torn on that thumbs up for the right. Yeah.
Yeah, I
was-
get
I
that.
mean, so was I. So was I. Honestly, that
Like Skeleton Tree is the very much the sort of thing I'm like, I'll play Distant Sky and just cry.
Yeah.
Mm,
Whereas like but at the same time, the Bowie album with Black Star is I can't give everything away, and I'm just like, well, fuck you.
dude, and watching the music video for like Lazarus or something, like, come on.
Jeez. Fair. But I saw the Nick Cave movie, and now this time with Feeling. That's a hard watch.
That'd
but
be interesting.
I bet. Yeah.
it's phenomenal. That's one of those movies you sit down there by yourself and you just cry the entire time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fun.
that's
Fun
not
date
ours.
night. Okay.
Yeah, it's a date night movie. Please go watch with your significant other. I'm
That
sure
you've just
they
met for the
will-
first time. on
Yeah.
your
Oh,
first
yeah.
date.
You meet there for the first time on Hinge.
Yeah,
Yes.
Get popcorn and ice cream. I'm sure you're gonna love it.
Nick Cave and chill.
Yeah.
Ugh.
There are albums you can do that to, but not that one.
No.
Not that one.
Yeah, you do it to Murder Ballads.
See, there it is. There it is.
From Brendan Barenfeld, U2, the 90s versus U2, the 2000s. So the outfit from U2 the 90s versus U2 in the 2000s.
I saw that. Yeah.
I don't think this is fair.
Yeah, is that even
I don't think-
close?
It's a
I mean,
discussion.
no line
it-
on the horizon.
If it was
versus-
80s and 90s, maybe, but 90s versus
That would've been-
2000s is
that
the
would've been more
question.
interesting.
That's what
That
I'm
would've been more
saying.
interesting, but yeah.
90s. 1, 2, 3. It's a huge canyon between these two. Come on now.
Okay, I will be a little bit fair. Some of U2's 2000s and output, All That You Can't Leave Behind, How to Dismantle an Atomic Bomb gets slept on.
Atomic Bomb
But,
is.
But again, man, they did not wind down that album, that decade very well. They really
No, and to be fair, they put out more stuff in the 90s.
They
But
did.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
And they were
Yeah,
coming
you
off
know.
the success of the 80s too. They capitalized on everything.
Bing.
Luke, you had a missed opportunity there. You should have introed that. All right, 90s or 2000s. Uno, dos, tres.
14.
Yeah.
No,
Learn
the
to
one thing
count.
with U2 in the 90s that people tend to forget, like Pop and Zeropa, like
Pop's-
there's
Oh
Pop's
man,
not good.
I'm not
Pop,
the
no.
biggest. Yeah, I'm not big on that.
I am a Zeropa defender, but I understand exactly why people have trouble with that. I'm kind of a Pop defender, but I'm not as willing to defend it.
But that's the thing. You're trying to commit. Like you have those albums, but you also have Octung Baby.
Octung Baby
Yeah.
right next to it, so it's like, I
Yeah.
get it. I get it. But
From Elite, Jason Isbell and the 400 Unit versus Spanish Love Songs.
Mark feels targeted right now.
yeah, this is a Mark one. This is absolutely a Mark one.
I just found out that he got divorced.
Let's be real.
Yeah, he did. say.
Wow, I did not know about that until literally today.
Ooh, that breakup album that he's gonna write is gonna be
He said he's like, I don't plan to pull from it anytime soon. He's like, if you can't look out your window and find 20 things to write about, then you're not a real songwriter. Yeah, he said he's not going to be writing about it for a while.
Okay.
So.
That makes sense. Yeah, I believe it. I'm totally okay with that as well. Yeah.
Jason Isbell. 1, 2, 3.
I think just like overall, yeah.
Spanish love songs. 1, 2, 3.
Again, no disrespect to Spanish love
Sure.
songs there, but
And no disrespect to
To
Jason.
Jason, yeah, exactly.
I think it's an element of like catalog because I think Jason has a little more.
Yeah.
Because
I'd say more than
Southeastern, something more than free, the Nashville song, Reunions, and Weather Vanes. That's 5.
yeah.
Spanish love songs have Schmaltz,
Brave Faces, No Joy.
and No Joy, which that's 3.
Schmaltz? Are we
5.
sleeping on Schmaltz?
No, he
No,
said Schmaltz.
not at all.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Not at
I
all.
cut
Yeah,
out
yeah,
on
yeah.
my end.
You're good, you're
Sorry.
good.
No, I am not sleeping on Schmaltz at all. I'm saying that it's 3 classic albums versus 5 classic albums.
Sure.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
it boils down to preference too. At the end of the day, I don't listen to a ton of country adjacent stuff.
Yeah. This was an interesting little matchup, though.
You would probably like a decent amount of Jason Isbell because he's got a lot of southern rock in his sound that's not just pure country. So his 2010s run is phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And also, like, if you want a really, really good cry, like from Southeastern, Cover Me Up or Elephant are just like, okay, I'm done for the evening.
Yeah, like emotionally drained. Yeah.
That'll do it. That'll do it to you.
Yeah.
Now, granted, that's not even my favorite album of that time because I would go to something more than Free, which has like Speed Trap Town, Children More Than Children, Life I Chose. Like there's
Body Like a Back Road. Oh, wait.
Oh, hush.
Hey, wait a second. I don't think that's right.
We're kicking John from the stream now, right?
I think everybody had a chance to get fired from the stream tonight.
I think so.
That's a new precedent.
Uh-huh.
Well, Luke did make us sign
You all
those 10-year
sure did.
recommitment contracts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just 2 more. Then we'll have to start wrapping it up because we're gone for 3 hours at that point, the longest we've ever gone.
Oh my.
Yeah.
I'd say it was worth it though.
Yeah, it was fun. This is something different. We haven't done something like that before. So, song versus song. Metallica's Master of Puppets versus Holy Wars: The Punishment's Due from Megadeth.
Not close.
Not close.
In my book, this is it's a little close in my book.
I'm with Crash because this is standouts from both. So, Master of Puppets, 1, 2, 3. It's standouts from both, but still one is much better. So
yeah. So there you
Holy
go.
Wars does get a little slept on though.
It does, yeah. And Rust in Peace is
like
yeah.
It's the best song for Master of Puppets. Like,
I mean, yeah, that's also.
Here's the thing. I'm not a huge Master of Puppets fan either. So like,
See, I am.
Really?
So
I'm a Ride the Lightning guy.
I'm a Master of Puppets guy. So
Yeah.
and finally, going up to Canada from Brandon Barenfeld, Marianas Trench, Masterpiece Theater versus Astoria.
Oh.
Ooh.
In a weird way, this is kind of apples and oranges.
A little, yeah. Okay, hang on. I need to think about this for a minute. Hold on.
I do too, because I'm piecing together my thoughts from both. So
Especially as Marianas Trench is dropping a new album this year.
Good.
I hope
Yeah,
it's.
Can't wait.
Yeah, I hope it's good shit.
I hope it is too.
everybody have an answer?
Yes.
Got one.
Masterpiece Theater, 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Okay.
Interesting.
I think that's fair. Astoria,
Yeah,
1,
it is.
2, 3.
It's 100% fair. I agree. But
I just
Oh,
I
it's
like the
really
energy
tough.
of a Masterpiece a little
I'm
bit
the
more.
I'm the same way. It feels more lively and energetic in a certain sense. Astoria has that too, but I just feel it more kind of cohesively. with Masterpiece.
I kind of like the more emotional kind of impact of Astoria, the kind of
You get that
hit in the feels, the kind of nostalgia.
Astoria has a theatricality that is just like on a higher level, but it's both good and bad because a lot of it is a call back to Masterpiece Theater. Like they're
right. It's elevated, heightened versions of a lot of the stuff they were doing there. Yeah. If I could say one thing, a detractor for me on Astoria is that I could maybe cut like 2 or 3 tracks from it, and it would be, I don't know, it might be a little bit closer in my book.
Gotcha.
Because I remember your original review of Astoria back in 2015. Because Astoria was my album of the year that year, and you and I went back and forth on that one because it was. Yeah, I don't know what your number 1 was because I know my number 2 was "I Love You, Honey Bear" by Father John Misty.
Yeah, I remember that being. I was definitely in my top 10 for that year. Yeah, Astoria grew on me, admittedly, over time, though, for sure.
You said 2015, right?
Yeah, that was almost a decade ago.
Yeah.
I'm a different man now.
It's a weird album because I think Astoria is one of those albums that has gotten so much more recognition with time.
Yeah, it's definitely caught on in certain circles. And also, to be fair, when that came out, I think I filmed my review of that album literally in the mattress store I was working at. So I was very crunched for time.
Yeah. Oh, boy. By the way, 2015, my favorite album, 1010, No Notes.
It was on my list. It was on my best.
It was on my list too. That was
what was my AOTY that year? That makes me super curious.
And this came out in December of 2015, which is still wild to me.
Yeah,
ran off with it.
In all honesty, it was not the only record in December that had a competition because Pusha T's best album came out that December as well.
Yeah, that was Baroness by Purple. Although for everyone that didn't see, Baroness by Purple. The album is purple. So. It has been an interesting night filled with a lot of disappointment, heartbreak, and triumph for Pearl Jam 10.
Yes.
Yeah. Honestly, this has been one of the better Rock Coliseums we've done in a while.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun. It was a good switch up, a good change of pace. We hope you guys enjoyed it as well.
I saw a lot of people freaking out in the chat in a good way. And you know what?
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. So
let the discussion begin, it doesn't have to be too serious.
It doesn't. So before everyone goes, let's do 2 things. 1, the document will be filled out as soon as I get everything listed. I have all the super chats backed up. I'm going to put that in the document with the screenshot of the bracket, how we all voted, and who put its suggestion for each one. I have that copy too. So this super chat doc can be a little more involved, but still have all some good information, including the super chats we just did. That'll get posted as soon as I can get it up and get it to these guys. Number 2, thank you guys for hanging out with us and trying to give us some time and give us leeway for a Madness thing. The biggest help we had was having advanced time to listen to the debut albums. Yes. That helped out a ton.
Very helpful.
And honestly, I think it helped us frame our arguments better. It was again,
super fresh perspective
for me. We listened to a lot, and we were able to speak to it more effectively.
Absolutely.
Yep. So, that being said, let's go around the horn really quick. John, what do you have coming up?
Yeah, I mentioned at halftime that I've got a special video with my dad dropping this weekend. We filmed it in advance of his 70th birthday. I had him react to 7 decades of some of my favorite songs for the 300th episode of 7 on Sunday. So that'll be out on Sunday. And I've got a video dropping on the second channel this week. It's a Think Tank episode where I talk about how no one important in music is really taking enough creative risks. So that'll be out soon. And then I'm re-ranking Green Day's albums. So that
Very cool.
is all on the horizon.
Awesome. Okay. Mark, how about you?
All right. So my regular schedule is pretty established. I've got my regular album reviews, and I'll be very honest, album reviews are kind of in a weird, flux state because Universal and their feud with TikTok has pulled back a lot of their release dates. Yeah. So it's meant that a lot of album releases have kind of been in a weird space. Mm-hmm. It's going to be very interesting to see what winds up getting dropped one way or the other. At the same time, that means, okay, indie albums on Bandcamp, I'm very excited for that. There's all sorts of crazy shit that Hooray for the Riff Raff, Ali X, Mary Timony. Honestly, Crash, you should hear the Mary Timony album. It's phenomenal.
Duly noted.
One thing I will say, one long form video essay project I'm working on, and I mentioned this at the very start. It is discussing vinyl and audiophiles.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys have known what I've been working on this for over a year.
Okay.
I've got the script is done. It is very much a case of me filming it and getting the collabs that I want.
Okay.
Looking forward to that one.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a really good one.
Crash, what does Little Guy have coming up?
Oh, little guy, what he has coming up is Betty Buys.
Oh.
Baby, man, it is way past his bedtime. So
Yeah.
And as far as I go, unfortunately, I don't have shit coming up right now. I hate to say that. Again, like I mentioned on my channel later last year, I just had a lot of personal stuff. My schedule has still been a bit chaotic. Again, it was a miracle I got my best and worsties out, honestly. But that's been cooling down. I've been focusing on being a puppy dad here for a sec, but I haven't retired or anything. I am going to be coming back, but I just don't have a solid date on that yet. I don't have anything. I have some ideas for what the next vid's going to be. It's going to be a long form essay, but I will certainly let you guys know over on my socials, my Patreon, Discord, all of that. I'll let you know when I'm back on the horse. I just still got a lot going on right now, but in the meantime, my best and worsties are still up, and I will.
We're checking out. They're worth checking out. 2 things for me. 1, I finished recording and will have edited as soon as humanly possible. 10 good songs by bad bands, part 2. 10 more bands that I'm talking about that actually have a good song. Boy, the comment section is going to get ugly, and you know what? I'm fine with it because those bands suck. So.
It's worth it.
Yeah. And number 2, just like I showed right during halftime, I have new merch. First 20 people to use the code SKULL at checkout, get 20% off. Different stuff on there, and I'll show... Maybe I won't. It's a whole new graphic, whole new design. I'll flash it over there before saying goodbye to everyone. Thank you guys again for hanging out. It's been a blast. Pearl Jam 10, winner of Best Debut Album. Rightfully so. And the Cinderella story definitely deserves repeating. Block Party, Silent Alarm, getting the silver medal. That's pretty impressive.
That shit out.
It's worth it.
Homework.
I make my jokes.
Yeah.
It really is that good. So, how do we end? Little guy, how should we end this?
All right.
Oh, he is asleep. Oh, he's not. He's
No,
tired.
He woke up.
He's tired,
woke up.
yeah.
Well, he's like, how should we end this, little buddy?
He's a sleepy guy.
Yeah?
Oh,
You got anything to say to the homies?
he's
All these
winking at
people?
us.
Oh, yeah.
No, he's tired.
He's
yeah,
tired.
You know what you know how I think we should end this? We should all go to bed.
Yay!
You know what? Let's all catch up on sleep. Let's
Let's
do
all
it.
catch up on some Z.
Have a great night, everyone. I'm putting the outro caption thing up now, ending soon. Long stream. Thank you guys again. We will do another Madness one sooner than a year from now.
Yes.
Thank you all. Have a great night. Please, for the love of God, show some respect to Rage Against the Machine because they didn't get enough during the dang stream.
Guys,
That's
we're going
right.
to be hearing about this for years.
Yeah.
Wow, this is our penance.
We are muted.